talking a bit about
觉得这个是谁啊？
how good is Mongols actually into Abbasid dynasty? There was the hypothesis
动画棍，这是什么？
that
人肉 拼命
actually
人
is
肉
a
的这
little
样。
tougher
你让我
than
在想
Abbasid
说，
dynasty. Abbasid
为什么
dynasty
加这个
could
的？
take those ramps against outpost rushes without large
要等一下。
investments, and they have
哎，
that
看不出
economic
来。
boom that even makes Mongols feel shy.
我大概只能
You know,
看
they
上
built
半
their
场
step readouts and
，VortiX
stuff, but
打
the second TC
DeMusliM。
comes in a lot earlier than that.
嗯，
I think we will see
N4C
哦天哪！
tournament here live.
好，来玩测试
in
版的了。
We're down to 6.
对，没有打得下咯。
Two quarterfinals, best of 7 today.
有吧？他们
With
不是
me is the
不是还要
person
打
that
吗？
went undefeated in
没有要开啊，有要开吗？
group stage, and therefore Ken Skipperday is already through to the top 4, already in the
小
semifinals.
小屁屁也不见了，哎，我买卡也不见了。
And we will have
他
two
们自
very
己去偷
interesting
打吧。
matchups. Best of 7. Maybe you can tell us a bit. What's the big difference in a best of 5 to a
还
best
是
of 7?
要打，要
I
去
mean, you have
去
one
打
veto,
其
right?
他
So
的
like you have to play
其他的。
receive very well.
也可以啊，拉古要打吗？
A few of us. I think, for example, me.
几个人啊？
With
打
English,
我
I'm
就
a
我
bit
就
weaker
上
because I
线
don't
了。
play them much. And I
上
think
线
it
啊，
sucks,
拉
so
过来啊。
I don't play them.
Okay.
你那
But
个
I
啊
think like DeMusliM,
还有
no
金鱼啊
problem. VortiX is very good.
啊，
with
黑子啊
receive. Maybe Linok.
Maybe Linok, you
这
say?
样子
Maybe
Okay.
Rus. Linok. Not sure.
Okay.
我看
And
一下
what else?
I don't remember ever
哦，现在有
seeing
比赛，
看比赛。
Linok with Roost.
啊，拉古绿血打，我们打一场吧
With。Mongols, is not top, right? But
Mhm.
I
Ah,
guess we
打一
also
场
with
呗。
Mongols, so
打
it's
一场
Oh my
yeah. Yeah, you actually said that people were just expecting Mongols to be banned so much that you were a bit behind in Mongol practice.
Yeah, so basically, like, Delhi, it was weird all the time, right? Because they changed Delhi so much, so we always practice Delhi. But Mongols, we practiced it like first 2 weeks, and then we realized it's such a free win that we just totally stopped playing it. So for sure, like, in my entire practice time, Mongol is the thief I practiced the less in the entire time. So yeah, for long, like today and yesterday, I practiced a lot of English and Mongols. And
How
I tried
did
to
that
figure
go?
out-
DeMusliM came to me and said that you trained English
Oh.
against him.
Yeah, English is going bad, but I don't know. I just don't see a game plan that is good for English, you know. But with the Mongols, like
I
obviously
heard
we know.
Longbowmen are good.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Decent. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, it seems like someone has a strategy that does not include Longbowmen.
But yeah, Mongols is still very good, I think. But yeah, for sure we have to make like more sharp plays, and builds are gonna have to improve a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working on that, so to make sure I don't lose in best of 7, right?
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And we have two matchups today: VortiX against DeMusliM, and
两
then later on
场
Mister
对局
against Linok. What can we expect
VortiX
from
对
VortiX against DeMusliM
DeMusliM，
as
然
a
后
set?
Mista 对比洛
I'm
克
not。sure because I think they are very
Linok.
good, both of them, for a best of 7. It's actually the remake of Steel Series, right? The final VortiX against DeMusliM was a 4-3 in the end for Ben.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, like they are obviously both very good. I think DeMusliM is more like the defensive guy,
Yeah.
and VortiX more the aggressive baboon, let's say.
The what? The what?
Yeah. And VortiX is an aggressive baboon for sure. He keeps attacking all the time.
Okay,
So actually, it's a pretty much a clash of style, and I'm not too sure actually. I don't think they played in the group stage.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a matchup we did not have, contrary to Mister
style.
and
And I'm not too sure
Linok.
actually.
But
I
we
don't think they
actually
play-
had Linok winning 3-1 against the Mister.
Yeah, and then Mista raised up.
But we actually had
went for some loss. So I'm not sure actually, because in my opinion, Linok should be weaker in best of 7, but he said that he feels very confident in best of 7. So maybe we don't know something, right? Maybe he practiced very hard with weaker thieves,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe he's gonna do very well. But I would expect Mista to be slightly favored in this one.
Mm-hmm. The format that we did with the best of 7 is obviously we had 7 maps in the map pool, and therefore I just randomly drew one of the 7 of them, and every single time the loser picks the
Okay.
next map, and we might get to all 7 of them eventually. So give me some exact predictions there. VortiX against DeMusliM.
I'm gonna say DeMusliM wins 4-3. I think very
DeMusliM
close.
4-3.
Yeah.
Okay. And Linok against the Mister?
That's a hard one. Actually, if it's loser pick, I'm gonna say it's gonna be very close too. So like 4-3 or 4-2 for Mista.
Ooh, that's interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously, as you all know, we will have this tournament happen in an actual apartment in Berlin. All the players
真的
on
要打波
stage,
期耶，
and
太
we
久
are
了，
trying
打到
to
4-3
make it as
天哪，吐
enjoyable
血
as possible for you. And I made a small video behind the scenes to give you a good overview on how stuff looks on from a different camera.
啊，是要开始了没？
In the back by HelloFresh and Ankerkraut. Then we have some table tennis in here.
Table
We
tennis.
gotta make sure to not slip.
这脖子太小了，这不是 Viper 吗？他不是被淘汰了
It's
吗
going to be the interview couch. We have the casters
？Interview
already discussing
couch.
stuff.
Let's talk about important stuff. Yeah.
Pretentious. And this is the whole production behind the scenes. Overlay guy, you might know him there. And production. Then we have the observer sitting here, trying to squeeze through, but it's getting tight. Obviously, we are like an hour before we actually start the stream. And
什么？这不是 Neo 的吉祥物吗？啊，不对 ，Neely 的吉祥物，
yeah,
啊，不是 Neo。
that's where I sleep. And then we go into the practice area. As you can see, someone taking photos. Ooh, spoiler alert. And this is basically where
哦，这
they
采光不错
for
哎。
their games. And
他是租了一间公寓是不是啊？
the tournament area. You will see Lino
哦
first
Lino
game of the day.
哇 ，Lino 可越来越胖了，他以前没那么胖的。
In the kitchen with HelloFresh. Welcome. I'm
他们有个
the
主
chef
厨哎。
again, and I was a bit scared, but the stream had a small delay. I thought
Yeah,
like I was
delay.
already starting to talk a bit early here, and we already had lunch, and now you're starting to prepare dinner. What do we have in store for us today?
Today we have pork tenderloin
That's visible over here.
with
我要看世纪
curry
三
and with a，
明
creamy
天
curry
啦，
Mhm.
明天。
potato and
我不是说
broccoli.
不播。
And as a vegetarian, we have nasi goreng with
Ooh.
golden pancakes.
What is golden pancakes
Yeah,
here?
it's a pancake with curry.
Ah. Oh,
Wow, you're a
okay.
pancake,
Now I
huh?
only understand. I thought it was like metaphor for something, but oh, that looks crazy delicious. Okay, tell me something about the pork that you prepare. How do you do that?
I cut the tenderloin
Yeah,
in some medaillons,
yeah, small pieces. Yeah.
and then I spice it with a little bit chipotle chili.
Chipotle chili. Maybe you
yeah.
tell me a bit
这
more
是帮
about
食
that.
物
Because
香料
obviously
业配
Ankerkraut-
是不是？这个
Yes,
业配收的
It
真
is
多
from。Ankerkraut and it is smoked jalapeno.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to
No, I don't eat spicy.
only
Okay, I should smell a bit.
only smell.
Oh, that's already intense for me. But yeah,
It's a little bit like the hickory smoked salt.
yeah, a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously due to the smoking factor there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's like too intense
like
for
it.
me, but I can absolutely see like someone who likes it very spicy is absolutely loving that one. Ah, great stuff. And Ankerkraut, as you all know, you can get some spices for free. If you order, you will get one random spice for free. And we actually have some
random
raffles.
spice,
We will do one raffle on the stream today, and also we will do one raffle on my Twitter. So if you go over there, tweet and like, and you will actually get a chance to get a package of 12 spices. Oh god, this looks so delicious.
总共12种
What's in the sauce
香料
here?
是怎样？
What to
That's
do,
a
curries?
creamy curry sauce.
Ooh,
Right.
what spices are getting in there? Because that looks crazy already.
Curry.
Just the curry.
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
This,
Okay.
this curry.
So what do we have? The
Curry madras.
Madras. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that Indian direction?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So curry madras, you can look it up yourself. Ankerkraut, obviously absolutely great if you want to spice up your food a bit more if you're not as weak as I am with my taste. And yeah, absolutely great to have them here provide all our food. And also great is that we have a great set. DeMusliM against VortiX, not seen before. And our two great casters, Drongo and Dave, will take it away.
啊，又是装狗来播，天！
G'day, fellas. G'day.
又是凹星装狗，又是这个
of the finals. Day number 7. Day number 7. I mean, it depends if you count the off days, but yeah. We've been here for a while. You guys have been here for a while. We've been waiting.
左边这个叫凹星装
It's
狗
going to be an absolute banger, Dave.
Well, I mean,
他真的
start off
飞到德国去，
By the way, there's 2
太
best
扯
of
了。
sevens today, folks. And because there's only 2 sets, that's why we started a little bit later today. But we might actually end up running a little bit later as well because these could both easily go to game number 7. You heard Marine Lord's predictions earlier. He said 4-3 likely for the first set, and then 4-2 or 4-3 for the second set as well. So we're in for a long day. We're in for a lot of great Age of Empires 4 action. We also have we have spices in front of us too. So Nilly mentioned them before, Anchor Crow. So you guys can take a look at these. Oh, that was such a professional pan down from overlay guy. Absolutely love it there. And Nilly, like you mentioned before, there's a link below the stream. You can click on the little image for HelloFresh or for Anchor Crow, and then you can go to his Twitter as well to be entered. Obligatory sell it. It's not even a sell it though, because we've been eating this food the entire week, and it's been delicious. And I think for like a vacation of a week and a half, I've spent like no money because I just come here and eat the food. I don't have to go out anywhere. I don't have to do anything like that.
Yeah, and look,
这边就有得吃了。这些欧洲人会不会日子过太好
I don't like vegetables.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when I saw like mashed potato and carrots and peas in some sort of mix, I rolled my eyes, Dave.
Yeah.
But I remarked on how good it tasted.
No, it's delicious.
Really tasted amazing.
Yeah, it's actually like unironic. Like we're selling out, but we're not selling out at the same time.
Yes, there's mind games to this sellout. But in all seriousness, though, it was absolutely awesome. But speaking of absolutely awesome, our game today, best of 7, as you mentioned, both players banning out Delhi already.
Yep.
You surprised to see that?
No.
Why do I even ask that? Why do I even ask that?
No, I'm not surprised to see it. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe in the next set one player not ban it just because of the mind games, but I think Mista learned his lesson on the first set against Leenock, banning out Abbasid. Yeah, the lonely Abbasid ban. And then, of course, in the grand finals, when we get to best of 9, we will see Delhi because it's all 8 civs played, I believe. And then each player gets to pick an additional civ if it goes to game number 9. So game number 9 could theoretically, we could be building up this entire show to a Delhi mirror at the end, maybe.
Wouldn't that be amazing to see Delhi only for a brief moment at the beginning of the tournament, not to see it at all throughout it, and then the finals come?
No, and then we see it at the finals, and no one's played Delhi for a week and a half.
That gets trashed.
Yeah,
because the meta's moved on so much since then. Yeah, I remember players talking about how they think that this is somewhat... If you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z, there's the concept of a hyperbolic time chamber where they enter into this time chamber, and inside the time chamber, a year passes, but on the outside, only a day passes. It's kind of like that. The meta has just been shifted forward so far. We've seen Abbasid just rise so quickly. So
10 times gravity in that little playing room as well. That's why Mista has to play like this.
He's got all the fans out there as well. It builds up a sweat if he doesn't.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk a little bit about rules, because obviously best of 7, a little bit different from best of 5 now. All civs available. Each player probably going to have to play every civilization. I mean, definitely will have to play every civilization if it does go to a best of 7. But when it comes to maps, Dave, it's working a little differently here.
Yeah, maps. So the way it works is, like Nilly explained, he randomly selected one of the maps for a pool to play first, and then the loser picks the next one. So if we go to 7 games, we're going to see all 7 maps in the map pool, and it's going to play out definitely differently than the beginning of this tournament. I think by this point, though, everyone's played everything, except maybe, actually, the exception to that, funnily enough, might be Marine Lord, because he speed ran through his sets. So he didn't get as many games, right? So maybe he got less practice.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for our first map today, we're going to be having Altai. A little bit of it's an interesting map because it's defensive, but at the same time, it is quite aggressive. The spawns are close, but it's easy to control the flow of units into your base, so very easy to wall up around those outside edges towards the front. We've got some civilization picks already through, Dave.
Ooh, and I see, is that HRE for VortiX? Correct. And then we see the Chinese for DeMusliM. So it's both civs that kind of want to prevent the other from getting to the... In the case of HRE, you want to prevent the passive gold income from the relics. In the case of China, you want to prevent the Omega boom from the Song Dynasty.
And that's exactly it. So I'm curious how DeMusliM's going to approach this. Obviously, players came in thinking, you know, maybe Abbasid, maybe English, but then DeMusliM going one level higher, saying Chinese, VortiX. 100% gets it right, says he's going to go Chinese, I'm going to go Holy Roman Empire. It's going to be very tough for DeMusliM to win this first game. This Civilization matchup, probably about an 85-90% win rate for the Holy Roman Empire at the top of the league.
I think there is opportunities though. Like if you go forward with the Barbican potentially, cut off the middle of the map. Maybe there's 2 relics in there, and then you loop the villagers around and maybe wall off the sides as well. I think it's all going to be about map control and making sure your opponent can't take those relics.
Yeah, we have seen this matchup before in the tournament with a Chinese victory. That was Marine Lord. Marine Lord doing a very smart play, doing exactly what you said, so walling off those sides, making sure that he limits his enemy just to 1 relic and then really playing a heavy H2. So who knows what we will see today, but hopefully we'll have something for you guys shortly. But yeah, I think in this situation it's very hard to stop the Holy Roman Empire, just because they're looking to get those 3 relics. If they do get them, it's going to be hard to stop the flow of units, and then they're going to get to the H4, and then it's all she wrote. I think all that DeMusliM can really do is try and delay his enemy, but it's so hard when they're in Imperial.
There should be like a sound for your enemy every time he makes a villager, just to let you know, right? Like, just a printer sound. And it's so cheap too. That landmark really is ridiculous, but you kind of deserve it because you know what you're going up against. If you let them get there, that's on you, it feels like.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And obviously, for anybody who is in the know, you will know that Age of Empires 4 has now got access to a public preview, a public update preview, I think it's called. And there's a whole bunch of changes that they've listed in that. So we have actually seen nerfs to the Holy Roman Empire in that. Now, these games are not being played on the pup. It is the old school version. I guess I say the old school version, but it's the current version. The pup is more of a behind the scenes.
It's really exciting, honestly. Like, we woke up, it was our day off yesterday. We woke up, we met with a few of the players, and everyone was like, have you read it? Have you read the notes, right? And it's just this long list of changes, and a lot of them are really great. So I'm excited, but I'm even more excited for this set. We've seen the we've seen the meta develop. I just developed my own word there. Between the two of them. We've seen the meta develop throughout this week, and we've reached the point where, like you said, Delhi is banned out again, and we are heading into all-tie. Holy Roman Empire against Chinese, VortiX against the empty chair.
Of DeMusliM.
Should have an advantage there, yeah.
Yeah, it's always tough going up against a person when you're not a person. But we can see that we've got our chair engineer in the room, Nilly, actually looking to do some assessments on the chair, it appears. Just preparing the players, preparing the chairs. Things looking good. Things looking good. I'm pretty confident in the integrity of those chairs.
Yep.
I suspect Nilly is as well.
If Marine Lord he was here, he'd be like, I like the first view better.
Yes, the banter between those two is...
it's ridiculous. I was watching their practice games last night. It's like 1:30, and they're both in a game, and they both have one side off, and they're just chirping each other. They're not even facing each other. They're not even looking at each other, and they're just like chirping each other back and forth, back and forth. It's so stupid.
It's a beautiful relationship.
It
isn't
is.
It? Yeah.
It's weirdly wholesome.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like the relationship I've got with my brother. It's that same sort of thing where you banter. But yeah, it's very beautiful. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this game develops. It's going to be curious. I think, as you pointed out, it's about getting that Barbican into the center of the map. But we'll have to see if DeMusliM does go for that, because it looks like players are now entering into the game. You can see that looks like a GL was just typed there. So good luck, have fun. You excited, Dave?
I'm excited. And speaking of GL, thank you to Gamer Legion for hosting us here in this wonderful venue. And we're into game number 1. We've got VortiX playing as the HRE, like we said, and DeMusliM playing as the Chinese. So DeMuslim's going to need to deny those relics coming in. You said it before. We saw this matchup with Marine Lord. He did such a good job as Chinese, sniping those prelates as they come out and getting that map control early.
Yeah, now we already begin to see some new additions to the overlay. You guys will see up towards the top of your screen underneath those upgrades, there is going to be a military counter. So we can see that there is a prelate, we can see that there are 2 scouts, and we can see that over on the other side, we've got a scout and an imperial.
Okay. 第一场
coming in for
DeMusliM 对上 VortiX，
supervising that as you do with the
分别用了中国跟神罗。
Look at the map from VortiX. Where are these relics positioned?
He's going to be pretty happy with this. So we can see that he's got very strong relics here. So typically on this map, you can see relics out towards those edges, but here we've got the one in the center, another one a little bit close to the center here as well. Going to be very difficult to stop him getting that.
This could play against him though. If
阿泰尔，不，阿尔泰。
That's a great point. So
the prelates are going to struggle to go get those ones in the middle.
especially if we see DeMusliM coming out with control and he knows that he's needing to
对，下一张是干燥阿拉伯高视野区，
H3.
高山深谷，
Really pressure, but we'll watch, we'll wait, we'll see.
残球之王利帕尼，
There's also a lot of room to play.
蒙古高原。
Cliffs are quite far to the edge. Sometimes we see the rocks really blocking and funneling up into that middle area. So maybe that benefits VortiX when he's trying to go out.
看一下开
He
局，
does have that free one.
目前
So does DeMusliM.
看起来两边羊都有找到，再来要看他们开幕的时间，还有开
Might be difficult
金
for
的
him
时
to get.
间。
We'll see what DeMusliM attempts to do here.
DeMusliM 的金已经采完了吗？他已经零村在采金了，
Sit back with Chinese and boom up with your eco.
还是他想哦，他要靠收税的无金流来升级吗？
There's a little bit of sound coming through.
他这边有一个官员，好，那应该是无金流。然后
Where we are,
神罗这边有一个教长，单教长开，
begin to see that the landmarks are
这边放下了地标，
going to be heading towards that
好，一样是那个雅申教堂，
as well.
Yeah, he gets the wood, he gets his town.
雅
center, he
雅
gets the
申
gold.
雅还不雅
Does not
琛，
have the hunt
该
or
念
the
琛。
berries included in that, so that's unfortunate for him. They're both at the back, but they're safe at the back of his base. So I guess that's
好，算是一个还没有改版啦，所以算是一个比较老的开局法。那这边中国无金流只有一个
Towards the base.
官员收税，会不会太慢？
Safe. Sometimes we do see players go for this kind of juicy Ark and Chapel, but obviously with the way that it's spawned out, there's no real chance of that happening because the tree lines are so far away.
God, I love these units on the field on our overlay.
Yeah.
So useful, not only for the viewers if you're tuning in, you know, you can't follow and have to go away for 20 seconds.
好，中国这边也上时代。
and see the status of the game, but for us as casters, because as everyone knows, we're blind.
We are.
Most of
这边
the
看
time,
起来像是盖学院，
on things. So this is fantastic. And there's a
中国有一
villager
只村直接往外走，
heading out to the middle of the map, but he's intercepted by the scout from VortiX.
Yeah, so already a little bit of shenanigans coming in here. VortiX making the smart play to go for that second scout and using it very aggressively in the early game. And we already see that there's not going to be a Barbican coming down, but rather an Imperial Academy in the base of DeMusliM here. So
哦，帝国学院
a little bit of a
盖得蛮快的，
because it's something that you don't always see, and it's such a great position as well.
Yep.
You can see where he's
快要盖好了，已经完成了80%。
he's not going to need to worry
我 Vortex 应该会稍微再快一点点。
back, but
好，开始拉墙了，先拉了侧边的墙。
Going up at the side and
DeMusliM 这边打的算是相对保守，应该是要有几率会有搞3TC，看一下有没有踩石头，没有。
yeah,
somewhere in the middle.
that could be an option. We do see players loving to go for that fast.
两边都没有踩石头，
So that could be
那要看他们接下来有没有要打时代2了。
Feudal Age. We'll have a look and see what he goes into from here. At the moment, you can see not really spending a lot of
中国这个金很外面哦，
rather just using it.
非常外面。
Base and see if there's any military production that's going down at the moment. Doesn't look like it. There
神罗的金也稍微有点偏外，然后中间还卡了一个教堂，
through here, there is professional
教
scouts
堂
coming
地
through.
标。
Playing
这边
in
开了科技，
often you will see Holy Roman Empire players look to skip this and instead just try and focus on getting up to the third age as quickly as possible, but obviously not today.
This could backfire though. If he doesn't have map control, by the time he gets to the third age, the prelates are going to be very exposed. So I wonder what state he's going to be when he gets there. Obviously, he'll have the safe food from professional scouts, but if your prelates can't make it out to the relics, then you're going to lack that gold income.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And Dave, I'd love to make another good point. Earlier, you heard a little bit of static in your headset. The players or viewers on the stream would have heard it as well. I suspect that might actually be the sizzling pork that's
I
coming
can
in.
smell that.
Doesn't it smell
And
amazing?
it always
哦
happens.
哦，开打！
This game.
狂揍猛揍，
You just got to delay it 10 minutes.
It's
or,
ridiculous.
make it a little
伺
bit
候
harder.
互揍。
Torturing us
Oh
like
my
this.
gosh, it's so good. So big shout out once again to Anchor Kraut. Those spices just smell Oh my god, they're so damn good. Oh gosh. All right.
话说为什么 Vortex 的心跳一直都这么快啊？迪穆斯林是老了是不是？那个心跳好像都偏低。
Now we're going to see that Barbican come down. Look at this. The villagers go marching 5 by 5.
哦 ，Vortex 这边拉了一堆村民，是不是要塔快啊？他没有石头，要怎么塔快？他也不可能盖死。哦，他选择直接塞瓮城，哇！他要塞瓮城在前面，我以为他会塞在家门口，结果只有塞在地图中间。哦。这边骑手过来。没有插塔，所以这个村民必须用走的。现在没有重置 bug 了，所以不太可能烧得掉那个采矿营地。不过这边神罗很偷没有铲兵。侧边也被 Vortex 拉强。
That is a gimme. That is one that he should have for free. So if he manages to do that, I suspect he could probably get 5-6 walls up.
That is a market from Vortex.
That is interesting. Yeah.
哦，用的紧急修复，直接建筑物回满血。好，这边放下了藏时代的地标，一样是教堂，大教堂，可以放遗迹的。神罗之后，下一次的改动会改蛮多的，所以可以期待一下。希望有新的流程出来，不然地标的选择太单调了。
Production income from them.
Yeah, this is really smart. I gotta say, watching DeMusliM play the Chinese makes me want to play the Chinese. Yeah. And you know, it's been hard as a Chinese main to say that recently because.
盖万里长城Vortex 直接变成强国玩家，最强的那一种。
Be a bit more professional down towards the south, but not having a lot of luck.
Yep, and the Great Wall of China coming down across the middle. That is a very long wall, and that's going to secure another 2 relics. So with that wall complete on the right side, did it ever get completed on the edge of the map? I think I saw a villager running back. Yep, it's complete with that wall there. The wall over here denying the relic in the left corner, and the wall in the middle denying those 2.
Look at these cheeky prelates. The prelates being sent out.
哦，校长开始要拿遗迹了吗？这边也有金马，金马直接反打这个骑手，但是殊不知中计了。这边牵制一下之后，更多的骑手过来 ，Vortex 可以顺利的把墙拉起来了。在很早期的时候就做到了非常强大的控图，这边还是拿到了遗迹哦。看起来是没办法阻止，但是应该是没有办法再拿后面2、3个。这边开招降，要成功了吗？没有，被戳死了。这个校长的这个 HP 还是太少了。我们也没有关系，中国这边还是一定程度的牵制了神罗拿遗迹的速度。
He's behind enemy lines.
He's behind enemy lines. I feel like we've got to send a chopper. But he never actually picked up that relic.
好，这边再拉一个校长来拿遗迹。中国控了中间哦，所以中间路是走不了了，只能走旁边的路了。神罗可能会想冲时代4再看看嘛。目前遗迹都还没拿满。中国现在有3个收税的官员了。
This is the time where you start focusing on the one to the left of Vortex's economy.
目前6只骑手，1只斥候。中国看起来这边两边的攻防都没有开哦，攻击力、防御力都没有开，但是有开这个园艺学。哇，这个校长又死了。
For Vortex right now, DeMusliM actually going to be going up behind this. It looks like a pretty decent timing here, Dave. 11 minutes.
Count too.
Villager count
with
is
wheelbarrow
massive. Yeah,
as well.
Great point. So already an 11 villager difference coming out here. Now that other prelate coming out. Look, how many prelates have gone down this game? It's going to be 2, 3.
Yep. And even is that a villager carrying some gold coming around as well? Looks like VortiX going for a little bit of counter raiding there, but the spearman at home from DeMusliM. Remember, he added that barracks in pretty early, so should be able to continue production there and save some of his eco. He's also producing at a faster rate, so 44 villagers for him, plus wheelbarrow, only 32 for VortiX. He's bringing in a second relic.
目前村民数中国小优。
So typically you want to avoid letting the Holy Roman Empire get that second relic. But now that they've picked it up,
别人拿到了第二个遗迹。
He's going to be able to utilize that gold and transition into the Imperial Age. You can see there's already a significant.
哦，DeMusliM这边收集好多木头，他每分钟木头进账非常多。
There's going to be a single villager that remains, but now got to be careful not to lose those. Some spears also coming out, but there's just so many knights here, Dave.
Yeah, the TC is attacking though, and the spearmen are there. The production is going. I think he's got 3 barracks now. Production from the spearmen, so 4 in the queue currently. So DeMusliM should be able to defend that gold position at the front if he keeps up the production. VortiX though providing pressure, and behind this, like you said, he's bringing in that second relic. So he's gonna.
这边金马换掉了骑手。
What, 10 villagers, 14 villagers or something?
中国现在没有什么正面的军队。
Yeah, 15 villagers in the relics there. So to be fair, DeMusliM probably sitting on about the same amount, considering it does already have that wheelbarrow. We see wheelbarrow coming through for VortiX here, a very important upgrade. Prelate going to be moving out once again. Look at this, the Barbican getting off some decent shots.
哦，开始研发了。
Snipers in there.
Yeah.
独轮推车啊，独轮推车。刚刚神罗这边好像也有开生存技术，生存技术没有在这个表上，它只有开独轮推车。 然后近战攻击+1，然后园艺学在这个是园艺学，然后再来是施肥跟杂交育种。对，这边有点这个手推车。铁匠铺的部分呢？ 这一个是啊，这个火蜂窝被追，有点惨。这一个是加近战攻击伤害1，这个是加远距攻击伤害1，然后这是近防，这个是远防。哇 ，VortiX 一个狂点科技。 然后中国这边有点陷入被动，只能产这个戳兵跟火蜂窝。火蜂窝很贵啊，现在火蜂窝真的超贵的。
Oh my lord, it's a double market. I haven't seen this since Age of Empires 3. This was a classic strategy back.
Double market 是怎样？他还说什么 Age of Empires 3？
Like that's the worst. You go double blacksmith, double market. You're like, hey, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Hey, wait a second. 为什么你有2个市场
I mean, he typically he wouldn't be thinking about that first market that he made because he made it for a different reason.
Because he never make it in H2. Really.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, really difficult position for him now. He's going to be trying his best to secure that third relic, but you can see DeMuslim's got such good control.
哦，第一场感觉就要打1个小时哎。中国一直在图控。
He's gonna have to get some farms set up. He's gonna have to move somewhere else if he wants to go up to the 4th.
两边分数也都差不多，村民数差不多，两边村民数都一个41，一个42。但是黄金比较多的是神罗，那个遗迹可以运作那个教堂太烦了。
just simply not having the food to get himself up to Imperial. But yeah, in this position here, it's oh geez, it's not the best for VortiX. Let's be real. He's had a great map spawn. He's had a great matchup. Everything has gone in his favor. But DeMusliM is playing this very well.
Yeah, but look at the villager count now. The raids have accomplished.
哦，一个金马跑过来，一堆村民在逃难，还有一个官员全员逃走中。
Yeah, we saw a little bit of an esports head shake as well. Up towards that position, if we can just go up towards that berry patch, you'll see the wall never actually got completed. So the wall is sitting there empty, and he went, oh, you know, that never should have even happened because that wall should have been built. Yep. It's down, but it's one of those classic bugs that happens, and obviously he.
哇，诗歌这边有800多个观众，蛮厉害的。
Lots of units coming across the field now for DeMusliM. We see 24 spearmen there. We got 7 palace guards, a nest of bees, and meanwhile, for VortiX, we have 4 knights.
要给压力了，受不了。中国这边憋了一大波军队啊，要准备开冲打神罗了。师哥真的蛮不简单的，他这样播比赛还可以有将近1000人观看，真的是很厉害。
And they do have that bludgeon melee attack, so not only getting more base attack, but they also get that bonus against heavy. So you'd want to avoid using any kind of armored unit against these guys.
Stone count for DeMusliM. He's getting ready.
He is getting ready, yeah. So looking to drop that keep.
哦，中国这边准备要前推了，这边可能会搞一些事情。
I'd love to see him go and batter that wall down.
It
On the
seems
right
so
side.
simple.
到时候要前置一些军事建筑物。
Start picking away at it and then send your prelate once the wall is down.
It seems so simple, but now we've got a pretty decent defense.
村民直接在干嘛？村民在干嘛？送死！家里也着火，村民帮忙修火蜂窝，村民就是上来修东西的。哇，神罗的这个巨锤兵，哇，直接剁！中国没什么优势啊，这一波DeMusliM好像没有办法打的，没有造成什么伤害。VortiX 轻松大手一挥，锤子一锤，直接逆转，而且他的金马杀了很多村民。中国这边剩43农，然后神罗的 VortiX 已经50农了。哦，插宝！这边想说要插个宝，但是没有起来。中国直接插宝失败，1000石头吐了回来。
To be, and he's going to have to place it more defensively or go for a complete YOLO strategy here. DeMusliM has to be feeling like he's on the back foot, and he is.
Yeah, definitely not looking the best for him at this point in time. He's got a couple of options as to how he can play.
目前神罗经济优势，然后资源其实都花的还蛮干净的，那反而是DeMusliM这边有点尴尬，直接投降了。哇，第一场 VortiX 直接拿下第一局。
He's very happy with this one.
Honestly, VortiX did a fantastic job there after the prelates got sniped. After he could only get 2 relics, he did a really great job making the knights.
是抓文明哦，就DeMusliM想的可能是对方会用，例如说英格兰，之前提过这个中国打英格兰相对是好打的，因为特定的 timing 点，中国其实是好守英格兰的进攻。但我们看到这个 VortiX 选出了神罗，这个选项就其实蛮大胆，因为神罗老实讲是被 counter 到爆开，被大部分的这种。这张地图是被大部分的文明，我觉得都是被压制的，但是是可以打，刚好就可以打中国。安安 ，Hello， 来我看一下你们说的 AoE4 更新的，看一下。没有 patch， 不是这个。好，我们先看画面，我找一下。
Yeah, and like credit to VortiX, because a lot of other players would have gone right down the middle with the Knights, looking for opportunities. He looped all the way around, and that was so brutal for DeMusliM because his army is not mobile. His army is spearmen, so they're going to take time to get to the wood line. You know, it takes some.
刚好这个没办法，中国被神罗抓到真的是无解哦。这个第一回合只能说这个是因为VortiX 的这个兄弟是 Lucifer 嘛，Lucifer 已经被淘汰了。那在 Lucifer 被淘汰的情况底下。这个2个人就可以一起来讨论应对战术。鲁西方就会跟他的这个弟弟讲，我跟你说，这个DeMusliM一定会怎么打，这样有可能啦，当然我猜的，对，不知道就是他们有是2兄弟的这个资讯情报战优势，合理。
老年人才快，年轻人才慢，好快的地标，我觉得还好。还行，我觉得
OK 懂了，我没有看到他有一个那个页面
So Bad 真的蛮扯的，他这观看观众人数真的很多。
哦，已经更新完了吗？
神罗铁匠铺会改强，但是大家还是会选教堂啊。哦，我把那个画面切回来。
一个波期哦，所以两边可以编一个文明。那两边都是编掉了苏丹。哎呦，这么有信心是不是？开盘了，
这观众数真的多。
哎，说到这个啊。
主播不打局，在播黑画面。有啊，现在有画面了。
Hello。
各位，蓝蓝帮的各位站出来。哦，对了，现在是测试服。
现在还是测试服啊。对啊 ，YT 延迟比较久。没错，
到时候还认真看好了，我现在没有办法认真看，太累了。我今天这个出去忙一整天，这个还喝了点小酒回来，
真爽。然后是说真爽吗？这个哈，我们肯定是要赌 VortiX。啊，肯定是赌 VortiX。肯定是赌 VortiX 的。赌个1000呢？
哎，我上面有写我预测谁哈，这个大家自己知道哈。哦，改蛮多东西的呢，好，不错，这个回头我再来做，这个一定会做讲解的哦。这个这么多的改动，势必是会跟大家聊一下。
势必会跟大家聊一下，但是我不会啊，我聊的没人看啊。No one care。
最近陆续都有人跟大家讲，我先预告一下，这个比赛结束之后，这个送订阅的这个用这个叫什么宝贝币是不是？买送订阅就会涨价哦，所以大家请自己跟好，对，自己跟好。
好，我们看一下。这一场变成，刚好文明对调，VortiX 用中国，然后DeMusliM用神罗。刚刚DeMusliM用的是中国。对调之后呢，可以看一下两边不同的开局吗 ？VortiX 一样是一个官员，然后DeMusliM一个教长。这比赛带心跳计数器是因为有那个厂商赞助的，然后他们还有个煮饭，那个煮饭的环节是有厂商赞助他们那个食物的香料。所以一开始的时候他们花了很多的时间在讲那个香料，然后抽奖什么之类的。好，我们继续往下看。
onto the map, we'll take a look at DeMusliM's base. I want to see where he's going to be putting this Ark and Chapel down. He's actually got quite a juicy spot. Right here.
Right here.
Oh my god, look at that. Jeez.
Look at that. And that might be
这边放下了伐木场跟矿场。
Maybe like think I was doing that actually with Vodka and Viper earlier. I was looking at the seeds and it's amazing the way they balance it. They're like the relics are slightly favored to one player, but then you look at the other.
金看起来够了，但是缺木，DeMusliM缺一些肉。金够了，缺肉。然后中国这边金还差一点点哦，官员。 无金流，有时候金就是少一次。这边村民直接往前走，很有可能是要直接插这个 on 城在前面。很高几率插 on 城在前面。这边还有2个斥候。 很凶。
VortiX has got 14 villages. How many villages have we got on our screen right now? Because I feel like it's a lot.
他这边有 总共有15只，他拉了10只村民出来，真假？他真的插这个在人家脸上哎，哇塞 ！Vortex 直接一个险招哎，上一场神罗这边打那么头，现在这一场弄了一个险招。
Two of these villagers around, one to the right side, one to the left side, wall up. And then you have the Barbican in the front, and you have walls on each side, so the prelates.
因为刚刚迪穆斯林的中国是用一个围墙战术在控场，那现在呢，迪穆斯林的神罗现在陷入被动了，这边开始在家门口搞事。中国危险了，对不对？中国要让人危险了。他们那个左右方向真的有时候会有点 confused。
10 villagers. So even if there's any kind of pressure towards his Barbican, he's not going to lose a villager. He just gets inside.
Yep. I'm wondering about that chapel.
俄台中国打很凶啊，比穆斯林扛得住吗？他不可能去处理掉那个工程。这个村民被打扰了，盖不了墙，因为墙被卡住。
Yeah, I think that would have been the case, probably not suspecting it. You know, China on this map, it doesn't have to be particularly aggressive. This map in particular doesn't really warrant being aggressive because it's such a defendable map. So, you know, it's one of those whole things.
两边的心跳都蛮快的哦。这一场，刚刚那一场暖身，这一场心跳变正常。
Which are prone to cheese in StarCraft. Those maps are less likely.
两边都有插塔，那我觉得中国比较亏一点哦，因为他是拉了10村出来，要插塔要踩木头。
This map is very non-dairy.
Yes, very, very much so. You know what else is non-dairy?
怎么了，玉祥？
He's holding it up to me right now.
他开了一个洞，跑进来插塔，有意义吗？延迟差不多了，怎么做到的？我不知道。
Back off the outpost there. Still 2 scouts for DeMusliM, but Vortex still has a scout from his own. He's got more villagers forward. It's not like a Mongol outpost rush where you only have that one villager, you lose it, you lose all that momentum. There's still villagers forward on that lumber camp near that Barbican. They can always retreat to that. DeMusliM did a good job with his initial outpost, so now he can collect around that chapel, and he's not going to be pushed away from that location. But still, look at this.
还是要硬盖这个村民。两边村民互靠，还是盖起来。但是我觉得这个塔没有办法做太多事情，因为你射不到他的墓区。然后这边又要再从近的地方插一个塔了。神罗决定要出什么？出小弓吗？
But Vortex definitely with a plan in this situation. We've got a blacksmith now from DeMusliM, and Vortex still hasn't looped around to wall the other sides, but I guess the outposts are effectively doing that for this left side here.
Yeah, I think it's quite reasonable, but now we actually see the archers come out, so they're going to be looking to stop any further build-up of outposts over on this flank. This might be the final outpost that goes down, but I think it is going to be in range of the wood line, which means, as you mentioned, that Archon Chapel is going to be doing absolutely nothing.
There's no wood. There's no wood for DeMusliM. He's got a forward wood line there, and he's got the one near the chapel. And look at how smart that is from Vortex. Oh my god, he's reading the map perfectly. And DeMuslim's like,
他要直接搬家搬到外面去。
Give me wood, and here he goes.
神罗直接放弃家里的经济区了。天哪！ 哇，这样中国超赚的。
For DeMusliM, so he's really in a difficult spot here. Now, keep in mind, he wants to just get up to H3 as quickly as possible. He just wants to go and get his relics. That's all he wants to do.
中国血赚 ，Vortex 直接把迪穆斯林打到满地找牙。
Researching siege
engineering with wood that he doesn't have.
Exactly. It's so hard on him, and behind this, we see that that Vortex is actually saving up plenty of resources and could be dropping down a second TC very, very shortly.
Yeah, I think we'll see that soon.
要起2 TC 吗？石头够吗？
Probably
不是，起2 TC 的有可能是中国。
But villager does go down.
不过以村民数来讲，两边村都差不多。
Vortex might even look to transition into his dynasty. Not really gathering too much gold at the moment, though, but we've got some defensive walls coming up from DeMusliM.
I like that a lot, and he's also going to secure that
疯狂拉墙
so at least he gets one. If he ever gets
DeMusliM 疯狂拉
Yeah,
墙
that's a good point, but now
避
we
免他这边的
actually
新的资
see
源全部
those
受到
walls
骚
being
扰
a。little bit misplaced, you could almost say, because
this could be bad for Vortex. Those are archers.
Oh, those are archers. Okay, I thought those were villagers. Okay, never mind. He's going to be absolutely okay.
哦，有一些工兵哦。
DeMusliM once again going to be stopping the direction there, but he is
好像有
aware,
发现对
Vortex
方的
is
村
aware
民
of
哦。
this lower ground play. We did see a scout
从那个小缝钻过去。
east of our screen, so just towards the right of our screen, that does know about these villagers. So
And he picked off another villager down there too.
哦，这边有村民抓到。
Yeah, I love how DeMusliM has defended this once he got in that initial ugly position. Calmly went out to the right side. Well, maybe not super calmly, as we see his heart rate right there. Went out to the right side.
他还不能走接近哦，也会被那个
safe on that side. But
那个
I love the
被那个塔射到。
from Vortex more as DeMusliM moves more villagers out here, and Vortex notices that weak Vil. He's gonna have to back off to the archers though. DeMusliM.
但是这边DeMusliM有5只小弓。
the chop through, and he doesn't even. The only thing
这边拉村民砍树啊，把树砍倒之后就有洞，然后有洞就可以直接那个钻洞过去。有又插塔。
We'll head into Vortex's point of view and see whether he spots this out, and he does actually have. On a, we are looking at Vortex. I apologize. DeMuslim's point of view.
心跳侦测是3小，那个是代言的，帮那个健康产品代言的。心跳侦测。
Vodka has seen the ram being built. I think the ram was for these outposts at the front, but once he notices that outpost on the woodline to the right, I think he shifts the ram over that way.
Yeah, this really isn't pretty. And look, the amazing thing for me is that Vortex. He can really work on the way that this build order has gone. One of the things that we didn't see was that the early on the edges that you mentioned that you could have had those walls.
不是啊，我不用看精彩画面啊，我不用看第一视角。
We can see that he's just resting his villagers, just waiting to get those arrow slits in.
我突然切到 Vortex 的第一视角。
Not at the villager though, at the lumber camp.
Yeah, at the lumber camp. Yeah, so a little bit of a unfortunate position there, but now going to be coming.
你看他那个手
Has got the double town center up as well.
那个手一直在按，一直在切换，很快。
And I'd love to see the great transition there. Oh my
我们这边
goodness,
是
I love that so
DeMusliM 的
much.
视角。
Thanks overlay guy for that wonderful cube transition.
DeMusliM 这边看不到滑鼠。
I have flashbacks to 1995 Windows PowerPoint. That was just.
I'm loving it.
It was amazing.
I'm not against it, honestly. Scout now going down from Vortex. The Scout, yeah, I guess it's going to go away. And
这边用冲车撞掉一个塔。
So you can see how desperate DeMusliM is for wood in this situation. He's still got the ram, though, up at the top. The ram has not been moved down, and the outpost will go up a little bit late with the archers there. He's going to have to start taking from the stealth forest, and he's spending more wood on another ram.
This is absolutely wild. Just how much
哇
wood is being
，DeMusliM 的
invested
村
here.
民
And you can see he's trying desperately
不能
to get
工
up to
作
that
啊
third age. He's had 400 gold in the bank, but by the same token,
Vortex 中国的村民已经46只了，太扯了。
Yeah, and even if DeMusliM clears this up, it was like I said before, you come
让
with the forward
DeMusliM 已
pressure,
经
you
被打到，
prevent them from getting to the next stage. You get
真的
your
是被打到
dynasty,
绝望。
and then you start
这个
producing
经济要翻盘很
like
难，
mad behind it. By the time DeMusliM stabilizes, gets all of
太
this
counter
junk
了，中国真的
adding
太
to
康
this
神
system
了。
going up to the third age, his economy is going to be quite far behind. Already 11 villagers.
Now, he does only have one prelate. He is going up to the third age. Now, typically in
终
this
于上
situation,
山
what
了
you want to do is have those prelates sitting on the relics, ready
靠
to
着
pick them
冲
up
车终
the
于
moment you
跑出一
reach that
番
castle age. So he's not going to be able to do that
一
here.
番事
Hopefully,
业。
we can actually see he's got a prelate in queue at the moment, which is a great sign of things to come. Even if he can get up to those 2 relics, I think he's going to be in a pretty decent spot.
I will say, if you're in DeMuslim's position, if you win this game, wins like this can propel you. It can give you so much
中国这边盖
momentum.
的是帝国
Nothing
学院，
feels better than a
直接
win
从
like
唐
this
路
where you're
送。
running from woodline to woodline. You got outposts all over your base. He's stabilized. It's just a question of whether it's going to be enough here.
And I think this is actually going to be quite an interesting game to watch how it unfolds, because Vortex isn't the kind of guy to tap out early, and he's definitely not in a position to do that. Even right now, if DeMusliM goes up to the third age,
这边
grabs
上
3
山
relics,
好像也
and
打不
looks to
回
take
来。
It's even up again.
经济落后太多了。
Look at this. We've got walls on the front, walls on the side. He is completely fine with regard to the raids because how did DeMusliM die in the last game? Raids.
And look, he's pulling the villagers, so he already knows. He already knows. There's nothing I can do about these rams. Nothing I can do about the clear up. He's going to be in the third age. He's going to grab the relics. I'm just going to have to.
而且你中间还用木头去造了这么多个冲车。
Gentlemen, strap yourselves in because we've got ourselves a bit of a late game
等一下又要缺
showdown
木头。
for you. We're in the 14th minute right now. I'm not going to ask for any predictions, Dave, but I suspect this is going to be quite a long one. Just because
然后
Vortex
现
is
在要
now
去抢这
Sun
个
Dynasty, double TC, he is going to be
抢遗
moving his
迹
heart out.，
中国这边是双 TC 在搞经济。
Okay, so 600.
且已经开手推车了，两边都有开手推车。中国4个官员在收税。校长终于拿到了一个遗迹，但是中间有狼在咬。
A knight out on the field, and he's probably going to get the third one in the middle too.
This is such smart play from VortiX. A lot of people might look at this so far and think, okay, he hasn't achieved his goal. He hasn't done what he wanted to do. But in reality, he has, because the timings that come out for the Holy Roman Empire are so much swifter than those for the Chinese. The Holy Roman Empire is age 4 timing.
中国是不是要上3一下
free relic timing, and it always just beats out the Chinese by a few minutes. But in this situation, VortiX has got to the double TC, and he's already got the villager lead. By the time DeMusliM actually thinks about Imperial, VortiX is already going to be at 100 villagers. And only then does the villager print start.
67农，43比68了。
VortiX will already have all the resources from those extra villagers in. He'll make his way up to 130 villagers. He's going to be in a fine
前面这个 on 城有可能会被推掉，不过 VortiX 应该是没场。
Hit and run tactics again. Maybe raid the eco. He knows that DeMuslim's only walled on the right side earlier, so perhaps that's the plan for him. What's the late game composition here for VortiX?
For VortiX, I think his best bet is to go for a siege mass. So the bombards as well as those nested bees, and then look to get out a few of the spears as well as the palace guards, and try and keep everything relatively close to your siege ball, and ideally move up towards about 8 or 9.
这边要赶快尽可能的先把外面的遗迹先抢回来。中国这边没有上10代就没有办法，上3了。 这边上了10代之后，看要出什么兵，我觉得其实都可以。中国这边选择出了什么，也是骑士。 哦，招降！啊，直接戳死了。
And the archers maybe a little bit quick to retreat from their friend.
Yeah, leaving him out to dry there, it seems. But I still think that DeMuslim's in a decent position here. My only fear is that he might be a little bit behind. You can see he is starting to stack up those resources as well. So unlike VortiX in the last game, it looks like he's going to have enough food to transition into that Imperial age. Probably going to be coming through around the 18-minute mark here. But yeah, VortiX definitely looking very strong right now.
Okay, the barbecue is on fire, which is exactly what you want from your grill.
DeMusliM的军队比较多，但是中国这边的经济优势很大。
On the field there, if you guys have been watching previous days, we've added it for today and for the rest of the tournament. So right under where the wheelbarrow icon is, you can see the amount of
而且
units.
终于清掉前面这个碍眼的瓮城了。
VortiX, we've got 11 for DeMusliM.
And DeMusliM actually going out onto the map and picking up the boar, so not something that you always see players do. So no mill sitting
哦，
here.
还吃了一只鹿，不对，这是
Looks like
猪。
villagers are idle, so hopefully it draws his attention over towards that position. But now we see those knight numbers really starting to build for DeMusliM at this point, and it doesn't look like he's really thinking about imp at this point.
哇塞，中国这边已经85农
It's always
了
going to。be so hard because worst comes to worst. I mean, the enemy's just going to be.
然后开始开科技
It
了
looks，like he's going to be going for it here, Dave. If he gets in, this could
中
be
国
very
直接
tough
转
for
这个
Yeah, and it's only a
长刀
singular
兵。
spearman there.
哦
Villagers now coming over. Will they
皇
be in
家
time
卫
for that
士。
gate? And no, they're not. The knights are going to get in through the crumbling wood of that gate, and he's just going to back up again. Okay.
All right, just let him get up another gate. I'd love to take a look at that boar and see
这边再把墙堵起来。
he actually did drop a mill down. Okay, he has got a mill down. Do we have survival techniques through for him as well? I'd love to see. No survival
有生存
techniques.
科技吗
Obviously hasn't
没
watched
有
the latest
没有
Age
生
of
存
Noob
没有
video.
生存
Age
技
of
术。
Noob just did a great video on survival techniques. Definitely a worthwhile investment if you're looking to get out onto the map and grab some of that juicy boar.
Well, he was almost through anyway. Almost
DeMusliM 想办法要打进去啊，不然他经济落后太
Now it looks
多
like
了。
DeMusliM going to be pushing through 40 villager difference here. Keep in mind, DeMusliM does have 3 relics, so realistically, difference probably a bit closer to about 20 villagers.
Okay, Ram pushing in. Villagers not coming forward to repair because there's enough
又来
spearmen
不及修。
behind. And Knights once again running into the eco.
Yeah, this isn't good. We saw this in
这
game
边开始
number
跑
1 where
村。
Vortix came into the base of DeMusliM with those knights. It was game ending, and now once again he looks to be doing it. Third
两
relic
边
making
都
it
个
safe
别
with
在
inside
家
the
中，
Regnit's
还有
Cathedral.
前面
Super happy
也
with
在
that.
操作。
But these villagers, look at what are these villagers doing? They're
这
just
边这
having
边
a bit of a
砍了
field day.
超多
Lots
吃
of
猪的
villagers starting
村
to go
民。
down. Now we see that villager lead beginning to build up. 96
哇
villagers against
，DeMusliM
$47.
村一
Look
个
at the
暴
villagers
死。
just dying for DeMusliM.
Yeah, and he has the 3 relics. Is he bringing in a 3rd one here, or does he have 3 in the Regnits already?
I think he's got 3 in the Regnits right
Okay,
now.
so
但
he
是
has
DeMusliM 这
3
边也
relics,
戳
but
进去
still,
了。
96 villagers to
这边已经
42.
96
That is a
村，
massive
你给你
difference,
砍
and
个
that's
20
not
只，我
made
也
up
觉得
by
没
the
差。
fact that you have the first food upgrade in 3 relics.
Yeah, you're going to need a little bit more than the first food upgrade to make up for that difference. But we now see DeMusliM looking to put on a little bit of hurt over towards his enemy in that base, and he is now thinking about Imperial Age. We can see that he's stacking up 1,500 food, but a bit of a push now starting to come out as well from Vortix, going on the aggressive.
这边盖了很多土楼。
His timing has been so impeccable this game. He delayed him
还要加
really
元楼啊
nicely at the beginning there.
还要加
Put the
元楼
walls up at home. He pulled the villagers at the perfect moment.
哦
And
好多
now,
好多戳
when
戳
he knows
傻眼
DeMusliM is
我们
thinking
走到
about
哪都
going
是戳戳。
H4 as he loses what 4 knights there to a trap from the spearman.
Such a
Fantastic
beautiful
positioning.
trap.
He knows he's going up to H4. He knows he's going to be saving food, saving gold. He can't put it into production. He's going to pressure him once again. And DeMusliM forced to queue up some more knights.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful trap that we watched right there. But yeah, DeMusliM in a difficult position now because he's down incredibly when it comes to population. 98 villagers versus
他直接
45.
撞这些
Couple
长
knights
长
getting
枪
caught out,
兵
but
吗？
beautiful composition
太
coming out from Vortix, really putting on a
太
clinic
猛
today
了吧！
for us as to how you play the Chinese into
哇
the Holy Roman Empire.
This is so
中国来
frustrating
了
for DeMusliM
中
because
国
you
大
look at
军
your
来
West
了
Bank 2 minutes ago and you're thinking, oh, I could go H4, I could get the Palace of Swabia, I could get
30 只，而且马还在增
And now
加。
that you've invested, you see your res
马
loading at
17
that
只
same level for the last 2 minutes. And
我
it's
不
just
觉得
gotta
这
be
边
so
DeMusliM 扛得
demoralizing
住
watching
哦。
this army come in.
Yeah, because now this army comes in and he's going to have to turn his attention towards military. We see some lance connects coming out, Dave. I'm a big fan of these units and their beautiful yellow pants. Is it going to be enough, though?
Yeah, it's unfortunate Grubby isn't here, so I could fully learn how to say lens. Let's anyway, the lens
DeMusliM 直接爆开
are into the eco here, and there's spearmen underneath as well.
这边
and
这一波推
DeMusliM
进
just
去
can't
就
even
可以不用
engage
玩
it.
了
You。can see the confidence
而且后面还
from
持续有
Vortix
在
in
补
his
兵。
economy. He's just got units under that town center. He's pushing in towards the back. DeMusliM is trying to pick a good fight. He's waiting for him to
一直在
engage
绕，
against
一
that
直在绕，要
building
去绕
and
对
taking the
抓到
fight
对方这
on
个
the top
金
side
马
with the
这一
knights,
团
with the。spearmen loop-de-loop all the way around.
但我
They're
觉得
gonna
没
catch
什么
up,
用
and when he runs away, the
，DeMusliM 这边的操作
Yeah, there's just
救
so
不了
many
他的
units
这
in here. I
个
don't think he's going to be able to stop
真
it.
正
We
中
did see a
心。
battering ram for a split second, but unfortunately belongs to DeMusliM. He's going to need a little bit more than that type of siege to help him out in this position. Villagers heading back towards the town center. They do get mauled by spears. The knights run in. DeMusliM not looking pretty right now. I suspect we might see a good game tapped out any second here, Dave.
Yeah, an esports villager garrison right there is 18
随时有可能会打
villagers
出
in that town
GG 啊。
center, and that's about half his economy right now. 35 villagers. We haven't seen this since the old Tower Rush days back at the
这边的
beginning
村
of
民也
this
做不
game.
了
We
事
also
啊，
saw
你
more
们没
idle
有空
villagers
控。
over there. 35 out of 36 idle villagers for DeMusliM.
Yeah, look, one active villager. It's not typically where you want to be, but he's got a little bit of work to do in that regard. But now trying his best.
这个农差了快3倍啊，我怎么打
Now, keeping in mind, these guys are quite expensive and they pack a punch against this composition. My fear is that even if he manages to hold right now, he's down 1/3 of the villagers.
158 pop to 54.
Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, DeMusliM will see what he can do. Now the Regnitz is under attack. 3 relics in there. Once that disappears,
我直接猜这个
doesn't matter
地标，
because 38 villagers is
把它
not
里面那个
gonna
遗
use
迹
that
整个
gap.
打
It's
出
a
来。
ram here for DeMusliM trying to get involved, but can't really find any targets, and he's going to be pushing back the army for a limited time.
然后这边产一个双手剑兵，对，那个叫什么？国土拥仆。神罗打得回来吗？
You can really see the difference. Can you imagine right now if he was up in Imperial Age, how much easier this would have been for him? But we can see Vortex
这边也出火蜂窝了，
all of his military
然后还
production
补科
towards the
技。
base. He is committing to this attack, and he's got to be careful against these lance connects. You can see now responding with Nessa B, so the appropriate.
神罗拜拜了吧？还没哦，快了而已，还没死。28农，我是不觉得可以翻盘。 不然为什么我刚刚要压 Vortex？ DeMusliM 真的在操作上面还是小输 Vortex 啊。
Normally you want to be going up, but he is unfortunately just going down to 22 villagers now, and these knights probably going to get cleaned up here. But Vortex has done so much damage, he's going to be very happy with himself.
Okay, so one last charge from the lens connects, maybe. DeMusliM still hanging in here. 22 villagers now with 3 relics. He's cleared up the knights in his base. He's going to head back to that wood line once again, but it's only a matter of time before Vortex comes with that siege ball you were talking about.
Yeah, this is such a clinic that we've seen today. Unfortunately for DeMusliM, I really just can't fathom the difference that would have been made in this situation if he was Age 4, and it all comes down to that early play from Vortex, that delaying strategy that he did, prevented those relics from going up, or from being taken, prevented that Swabia from going up, and now we see more knights coming into the base. DeMusliM falling back towards the town center, a couple knights here, a few lance
有机会可以先上到时代4，
a lot of luck, it
Production
seems.
queue is 2. Production queue is
上
2,
4或者是把兵全部聚满，满人口再推，我觉得都可以。
23 units coming out, plus technologies coming in for Vortex. Finally, DeMusliM goes for a wall in the front. I think he could have
这个就
maybe
算灭
gone
中
to
国部队
H4
没有
if
用
while he，was
他村
forward
民太
with the
多
knights, he was
你
walling
部
off
队
his
打完之后
base
又有
to
部队
buy
打
a
完
little
又
bit
有
of time，
那
and
个
kept
补
those
的速度
knights
根
kind
本
of
跟不上
running。around Vortex's base.
It's definitely a mistake that we are seeing a lot of players make. It's just lack of walls. And now we actually see him walling up over towards the west side. But once again, Dave, I can't help but think of JoJo's hit single from 2004. Too little, too late.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
DeMusliM, you need to resign because this is going to get worse for me. And oh no, even though he's walling, he's going to wall out his own
哇
units.
好不容易围起来，结果
Two knights back there,
又被钻进来。
sacrifices and goes in with the rest of them, continues to pick off villagers. 26 villagers for DeMusliM, 129 for Vortex.
Yeah, so at this point in time, he's got 5 times the amount of villagers that his enemy has got. And
129农对上
I
23
wonder what
农。
percentage we can actually get him to, because at the moment he's on 23 of 129. And I'm sure our guys over on Reddit are going to be doing the math in this one and saying, at one point in the game, DeMusliM had 12% of the villager count that Vortex did, and he still didn't resign. He is fighting on, and he knows how important it is to win this game, because, as you mentioned, this game really sets the tone for the rest of the series.
Yep. And sometimes we talk about, I don't know if you do in H4, but in H2 we talk about, you know, if you're losing a game in a series and your opponent is trying to finish you off, sometimes maybe you want to stay in and frustrate them a little bit for future games. You kind of get yourself warmed up, while at the same time they're just kind of like, why is this guy not resigning? Why is this guy not resigning?
Vortex 一直用步兵在拆东西啊，拆的蛮慢的。
So we might see a little bit of that at play right now.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
中国再收30只马都可以赢，啊，很小心哦，有时候不小心会翻船。
DeMuslim's position, I would be the one tilting, because I'm trying to make
No,
everything
he's
work.
already mentally he's already considered this like a 1% chance. Probably.
Yeah, you reckon he's
上坡了，
already
上
signed
坡
out?
了
Yeah.
杀到
Just,
中国
having
家
a bit
了
of。fun.
Well, as long as there's a 1% chance, it's a big tournament.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the game's not over until the fat lady sings. And at the moment, the 3 landmarks stand up for DeMusliM still. So she's not singing just yet. But we now see Vortex,
3台火蜂窝，效果不一般。
Beautiful
maybe
composition.
now.
And
Yeah. Maybe now.
yeah. DeMusliM says, well, that was a tough one. I couldn't come back from that.
拿了。
Vortex going to be incredibly happy with that.
Vortex 拿下第2场，
完爆2回合都是有手。那德穆斯林要好好加油了。喘口气，我想要找那个提神的那个小药丸啊。
帆船今天都不睡觉，搬不了。
So I wouldn't be surprised if he saw those wood lines and he said, "All right, we're doing it."
Yeah, I also like the fact that he pulled those villagers back before all of his outposts were dead. He's just like, well, I can lose 10 villagers forward and maybe evens it up, but I'm just going to pull these back. I'm going to play safe and I'm going to boom up behind. It was great timing on everything from Vortex, honestly.
He has, I mean, I think so far throughout this series, the key word would be timing for his play. It's been absolutely immaculate every single time he.
其实聊天的人数比我想象中的少。
Yeah. And then for DeMusliM, it's tough to say what he should have done there. Maybe scouted the villagers coming across. Maybe you suspect something like that.
DeMusliM 在想这些每个人在 Gaming House 都麻吉，结果都在长招。
On the reverse side as well, maybe secure. I don't even know, like, where do you even secure another wood line?
今天绝对翻不了过气游戏，你们真觉得聊天室动很慢啊？都机器人，有可能哦。你看，1500个观众，但是聊天室没什么在动。
As soon as that villager started moving out, he got on it straight away. So I think that would have been a big part. Would have helped him out a huge amount.
I would have liked to see the one point where he could have come back, maybe in economy, is if he had walled while his knights were forward. I think that was the area. If you get Palace of Swabia out, you have 3 relics.
就他妈一个婊子，只会他妈偷 BD 干。然后另外一个看起来这个胖胖和善的弟弟，这个年轻人，结果他妈的这个已经妈藏了妈10春往脸上 A 的，怎么会这样？我们来看到这个下一回合。我今天目前准确，我赌那个 VortiX。
VortiX
不要闹了，我的这个理解很稳的，很稳的。
哎呦，这一轮是阿拔斯对蒙古哎，
请不要随意的质疑我的这个专业度。
2个人都 ban 掉了德里苏丹。
来选择结果，这场由 VortiX 获胜。3月14 1984是什么意思？你们竟然会猜，我以为大部分人会猜德穆斯林会赢第2场，因为老实讲，德穆斯林就是确实神罗是好打中国的，不过真的 VortiX 准备的这个战术很凶啊，很凶。
我现在也要赌 VortiX。
好，这个我刚刚看到阿拔斯打蒙古是，不过没料赶走阿拉伯。
OK， 我再
有
花1000块赌。
什么厉害的战术哦？我们可以期待一下。感觉
周贝预测是4-3了，我觉得不可能，直落4。
感觉
我就要去睡觉了。
是不是要搞事了？哦，你说1984，笑死。好，我们我们回头讨论一下。
好，来看。来 ，Vortex 对上DeMusliM第3场，阿拔斯对上蒙古。反指标啊？怎么可能反指标？认真呢，我这个赌的 Vortex 状况正好哦，DeMusliM 在那边感觉就是不太行啊。哇塞！光是这个图你就知道，输了，蒙古输了。你看他的金矿在这里，但是他的木头在这里。那这样必须村民移到那个地方才有办法采金。这边大胆预测啊，蒙古已经输了，输给地图，已经输了。
of Vortix and get to witness what he sees. You can see he was housed for a short bit there, but
这场 Vortex 无敌了。
How's this game going to open, Dave?
Well, I'm not sure because we've seen the Mongols try and adapt to the
Vortex.
Abbasid, right?
Vortex.
It just seems like such a good Civ matchup for Abbasid if they go for that early second TC. They can even delay the second TC, go for military production to stall out the tower rush early. Kill the villager.
他们编队都是把它改成，我不知道他们是不是现在可以改了，不然他们应该都会把那个改成那个数字编队，然后就是星海玩家的那种概念。
I like this. It was good. But we went back to Vortex.
And now DeMusliM. Here we go. Overlay guy's like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. And it's Spearman opening.
Yeah, a little bit interested to see Spearman opening. A lot of players at the moment are shying away from the Spearman opening here. With
Powered by Gami. Gami 赞助的这个心跳量测器。
Very curious to see where he looks to position. So obviously he's got 4 villagers on the gold mine. Now keep in mind.
好，这边有4村在采金，阿拔斯4村采金。
All of these villagers that are gathering, these guys are purely here.
附带一提是阿拔斯在下一次的改动中，他的新鲜食品应该会不见，所以会有新的东西可以用。
Doing damage to this gold mine isn't going to be too bad. Ideally, he's going to be looking to control, as you mentioned, the berries.
I like this. 2 villagers for it instead of 1.
I like this as well.
It's so much more consistent.
DeMusliM 看起来这场想要扳回1城啊，但是我觉得难度有点高。这边已经看到你过来了。然后把斯开局，估计骑手配小弓。然后这边可能要插塔防一下。
House of Wisdom and just double check that though. I'm pretty sure it's 50 food, 125. Yeah.
Should have enough here. Yeah.
我就觉得阿拔斯他也去改，可以去改他的那个黄金时代的处罚。
It's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Did he drop off there? I think he did. So yeah, once
他决定放牧区。 那个心跳侦测准吗？我觉得要看情况，我是觉得没有到很准。看他佩戴在哪里。如果只是绑在手腕上，我觉得不是很准。这边可汗一直在射。
I was a little bit worried there, Dave. I thought he was going to have to make another trip out to the gold mine and.
这边看到对方插塔的位置。
Yeah, and there's the first outpost, and Vortex is actually on stragglers right now, so he hasn't got to the wood line.
上了时代2，这边蒙古有点打牺牲打哦，时代1卡着。
Does he just? He's going for an archery range, but as you mentioned, he's just on stragglers.
He's just on stragglers.
这边上时代储存够木头之后，马上下军事建筑物，准备要反打。
See, but the problem is he can't even move down towards the south.
He has no mobility here.
He has to. Oh, this is terrible.
And it's good for DeMusliM.
Incredibly. This is wonderful for him. Just his single outpost going to be able to deny.
果然是下弓箭场，所以应该是要出小弓没有错。
Typically, once the archery range comes up, once the first archer comes down, then your rush or your push is going to be pretty much neutralized. So he could be coming to the south side, but...
Is that a villager death? I heard her, she was really dramatic about it too.
Abbasid villagers are known for their drama, yes. Yeah, you wait until you hear them build the house. That's just my favorite.
好，铲了一只小弓。
Spears now, microing back and forth, and already we can see... I mean, DeMuslim's going to be happy with the response that he's forced out here, but... 这
边可能要先挤出个4、5只小弓，才有办法看中间要转什么兵。
I was having high hopes when I saw he didn't have a lumber camp, but the outpost was pretty far back there for DeMusliM. I thought the second one would come along this side, maybe a little bit closer to the town center, but I guess with that positioning, it was always going to be tough. And then the archers were out at the perfect timing there for Vortex.
It's a really smart move from Vortex. I feel like I've actually learned quite a bit just watching that unfold.
这边选择下的是路石。
Players like me, lesser players than Vortex, we would look at that situation.
这边有确实的去干扰到了 Vortex 采金的这个点，所以是有影响到 Vortex 的经济，但是DeMusliM自己的经济也没有说多好。
That's a great response to the Mongol tower rush. And you can tell that the players have practiced against it so much, and that's why Mongols have been struggling in this tournament. They know all the moves. They know exactly how to counter it. DeMusliM is going to be running into issues here. Like, what's the follow-up for him? And are there even... He's got double pasture, but he's got too many villagers on the sheep here, so he's going to be running...
羊快没了，这个羊快没了，可能要再盖一个牧场。
gets in, and this is part of the consequence of not having enough sheep in the early game. So
should have called HelloFresh.
Should have called HelloFresh. As you guys know, they've got some delicious meals available. They've been feeding us every day, and it's been an absolute delight.
Promo code N4C Fresh.
Thank you, Dave.
侧边这边小攻过来。
Speaking of hot, Khan going to be running in hot right now. He's got a sheep there with him.
被戳到，被戳到。
Base where the villagers can eat it, but looks like Spear's going to be running into archers. Never a position you really want to be having. He's focusing them down, but not having a lot of success, and looks like they're going to be going down.
I think he just sent those spears in.
哦，轻轻松松处理掉了。
And then he just and now he's minus those 4 spearmen, and there's nothing. I don't think.
然后这边 Vortex 有在踩石头，看起来是要双 TC。
Now, I don't know too much about DeMusliM. Is he the kind of guy who gets on tilt?
I don't think so. He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy.
然后蒙古这边也有踩石头，这个是应该是敖包自己铲的。他并没有把它拿去生产什么双倍单位，石头并没有这么快的被花掉，可能要留给后面的军事单位或是科技。
VortiX adding in the second town center as well, so he's going to be happy with that. Managing to get it up over by the gold mine, so an interesting position that he's decided to go for. We'll take a little bit of a look
OK， 目前的话，我觉得 Vortex 还是小优势。双 TC 的话，很快就可以把落后的村民追上来。 反而是中国前面投资了很多资源，哎不对，蒙古前面投资很多资源，你蒙古前面又插塔，然后村民又往前走，然后你又铲那些戳戳兵，都没做到太大的伤害，所以蒙古是稍弱的。
Just keeping it at range, and still we see the sheep following along the Khan. He's still yet to take it back home. Spearman does go down, but with regard to military right now, DeMusliM only having that Khan out. VortiX just got a handful of archers. He's going to look to apply pressure, but DeMusliM going to be going up to the next age. How many pastures has DeMusliM got? I'd love to take a look at his base and get a bit of an idea. So adding in the 4th one now.
Yeah, 4 pastures, so his villagers are going to consistently be able to
他要用骑手吗？ 骑手我觉得也没什么用，3个牧场应该肉是够的。可汗死了，被 TC 射死了。第2个 TC， 双 TC 的话，村民应该很快就追上了。好，用骑手来处理这个小攻。
From DeMusliM to find these units before they can go into his gold.
Yeah, this is a great little pickup for him. He's going to be really happy with this. 1 horseman for 5 archers. I think anybody would take that trade.
哦，小攻快死完了。骑手看起来反马能力真的在改版之后有比较好一点。对，骑手的打步兵的能力。 就是不然之前那个工兵一直射，然后骑手就一直倒掉，太软了。
I think my question at this point, Dave, is do you think he did enough to delay VortiX from?
这样对于没有金马的国家来讲，时代2要处理那个工兵很麻烦。
That was very quick, very decisive, and I got to agree with you. I feel like typically in this position, if you're going to invest in a barracks early, if you're going to invest in sending 2 villagers towards your enemy, you need to really make that count. And I feel like he didn't. Obviously, he forced out the archery range. He forced out 5 archers. Doesn't really feel like it was enough though.
Yeah, Horseman now being annoying on the gold. DeMusliM has to pull some villagers away, but he is going up to the next age. So DeMusliM will be age 3 quicker than
没有想到竟然是
with the double TC. Already 3 villagers ahead.
竟然是DeMusliM先上时代3。
He's definitely on that avenue up. But now the mass starting to build up here, and very interesting play from
VortiX 点时代3了没啊？
Archers like this because it's so easy in this position for DeMusliM to just completely ruffle stomp him. And I don't use that word lightly, ruffle stomp. I haven't used that word since 2013. I'll be honest with you, Dave. But realistically, he's just going to be able to add in stables, which it looks like he might be doing. We'll take a look right now at the Uvu. What production do we have? Just coming up to the north of that position, just up a little bit. Vodka, just no. All right, don't worry. There are military production buildings going down. It looks like it's going to be barracks, so he's going to be going for a.
哎呦，干嘛救了？要转重马吗？金马出一堆，我是觉得不用再出公马。
Yeah, yeah. So it makes a fair bit of sense here for him to go for these barracks, or for these barracks rather. And now we see the first men at arms coming out. The main issue he's going to have is his food economy. You can see that he's got quite a few pastures here, and he's defending on this front. But the stepper out not going to be able to do too much here. It is positioned on the gold mine. He's got 166 gold in the bank. Should be enough for him to get out. Just enough men at arms to be able to push this back.
Lots of units though for Vortex, and this is the struggle with Abbasid. At a certain point, if you
这边 Vortex 不想让对方在这个地方采金哦，不然那个一下子地标那个金给太多了。
So it's a
if anyone knows about printing,
yeah, it's a similar situation. And here come the men at arms here. The Khan is back alive. He is been reborn, and he will be able to support this military. Horseman now engaging for Vortex. He's got archers behind, and the military numbers are huge, but DeMusliM with the better units currently.
Yeah, and we can see he's getting out those men at arms 2 by 2. Hurrah, hurrah! And they look to try and
2个2一组哎，这个微超DeMusliM状态不错。
This is where the timing window comes. So we'll take a look at DeMusliM's base. Click on his blacksmith, and I'd be curious to know whether he has got the improved siege engineering upgrade. Not just yet. Now he does have. He's got a.
不过现在还是个问题哦 ，Vortex 两 TC 的经济优势还是在。 不过两边都没有开手推车。哦，这边点了近战一攻，然后DeMusliM点的是远防加一。
DeMusliM could pull a few of these men-at-arms away. I'd love for him to loop them around to Vortex's economy if possible and start harassing a little bit.
Yeah,
like there's the exposed berries. Even the wood line is a little bit further from the TC. Maybe he doesn't notice the raids while he's focusing on the front.
Yeah, I think that's 100% the right move to make. We actually see a Lancer coming out now, so that might be where it's headed. But Vortex up to the third age, so behind this, keep in mind, he's gone for the second town center. He's got plenty of military out, and he's getting up to the next age. So really just goes to show how strong this civilization is.
终于在上时代了。
I think it really comes down to just their berries being so.
Vortex 不要让我失望。
I think he's out of berries at the back there. I think his only food economy for Vortex is the berries at the side because he ran out of sheep as well. So it's going to be a transition period here, and there's potential for DeMusliM to punish. He also has villagers making outposts forward as the horsemen come in and get some good raids on the step readout. How often do we see that against Mongols? The only place to raid, it feels like, is that step readout. And all the villagers are over here. Like I said, he had to make a food transition. The villagers are going to be over
他要拉这么多村在那边采肉吗？等一下被抓爆怎么办？
Yeah, now there were villagers down there dropping down an outpost, but he's got a Lancer with the berries.
Vortex,
Exactly as you called Dave. Looks like he's trying to take control of this situation
Vortex,
and put himself in the driver's seat. He's got a huge military mass, and keep in mind his military is
村越多就死越多。
Vortex is not so, but now we see more villagers dying towards that gold mine. Has that outpost come up yet on the deer? It looks like the villagers have actually moved on from that
the villagers chopped enough to get to that outpost that DeMusliM put at the beginning of the game.
Wow, that's a great point. That's a lot of chopping. Yeah, and that outpost, look, you can actually see it doing work, taking out those villagers.
完了，
And I think we've got good
投了
called, so DeMusliM
我的1000点，
winning the game.
我的1000点，我的1000点，
Honestly, against Abbasid, like that's a civ matchup.
太扯了。
Really struggle against this entire tournament.
我的1000点。
It's just incredible.
DeMusliM
he managed
不要
to
这
do
么
that. The
绝
second
啊！
TC came up and he got up to the third age, flooded men at arms. Vortex couldn't.
打一个 timing。
It was an absolutely
太扯了。
crazy game. I think the timing window was really bad. I think the timing window.
我跟你讲，我前面对了2场，总是会有一点点变化的，好不好？
I'm surprised to see the victory come out there for DeMusliM. There wasn't a lot of damage done at that early stage in the game, but still managed to.
破产了啦！
你知道这边差在哪里？我发现了，他不够果断。 我们看到那个德穆斯林是怎么守，德穆斯林守，发现对方上城堡，他做的事情不是这个疯狂暴兵，他做的事情是疯狂插塔。我他妈用塔插爆你！对他这个塔一波一波的一个建起来，一个建起来，一个建起来，然后用塔的用塔升级过的塔死守，升级过的塔的伤害是高的哦，打这个步兵是有感的，升级过的塔的攻击我印象中是8，那你的原始 TC 也是8，是8，好像是8，然后分 TC 这个第二个这个额外盖的 TC 是6，对。大概就是这样。哎呀，你们别闹了。总之偶尔会有一点意外，不过不得不说，德穆斯林这样打得好。这个插了2座塔，看起来没什么小用，但还是让自己的这个文明上的是这个时代上够快，可以，1比2追上来。
扣了1000点。
那另外一个对战组合，我跟大家分享哦。另外一个对战组合是 Linux 对上 DeMusliM。那这2个对战，我觉得DeMusliM，我看一下之前有没有打过 VortiX。DeMusliM 之前没遇过 VortiX。他们2个的对战成绩哦，我们看到DeMusliM 3-2，各位哦，他3-2表示他其实应该是4-1哦，表示他应该只输 Marino， 因为他是赢了 Beastie。但是他是输给了 DeMusliM， 但他怎么输的，大家应该还有印象哦。对，就是还有一点心魔的那2场。对，那 VortiX 则是只赢了他哥 Lucifer 跟 Linux， 他输给了 Marino， 输给了 Viper， 也输给了 Beastie。不过他的对手真的都是相当硬的哦。我们看到这个 Beastie、Marino 都是我认为的冠军候补。那当然，他输给 Viper 就Viper 最后一天打得好。
被 Viper 淘汰了。
那我们等一下还有这个小李对上的是 The Mista 的对战 ，The Bista 这个 The BD 哦，这个 The BD 的这个对战，他们2个之前有对战过，是由这个小李3比1击败 The Mista， 不过这是第1天的比赛。
神秘力量诗歌，
谢谢这个 Yuka， 感谢你的订阅2个月啦。
DeMusliM。
人家没有玻璃心哦，人家能够坐在那边打比赛，不是没有原因的。我们
继续看。
We saw DeMusliM on the Mongols last game. Vortix here, not the best spawn, but that's kind of to be expected typically.
Both have back wood lines. I was actually watching over their shoulder for this. I remember this map. We went over this map.
Yeah.
Viper and Vodka. Yeah. So they felt that both players with a back wood line, you know, they both had the berries. Blue had the berries near the back, and red had the berries a little bit to the side. Similar gold positions, similar relic positions. They thought this one looked pretty good for both, and Vortex is gonna have to figure out an answer to the French with the Mongols. The Mongols have been struggling this tournament.
Yeah, you're definitely right. At the moment, they currently sit as the lowest win rate, or at least they did before last game. We'd have to do a double check, but now we can see that pesky Mongol Khan
他抢不到羊，要直接杀羊太扯了。
herdable sheep.
Yeah, and
抢不到羊，直接把你的羊给杀了。
The scout from DeMusliM is trying to get his friends home, but there's another sheep, and the third one will likely follow. So this is a good opening to the game for Vortex, and maybe a little bit of a esports smirk there from him as he kills that final sheep, kind of within range of the town center, but DeMuslim's going to have to figure out something for his Fudiko, and he's going to have to figure it out quick. There is another sheep back here that he can take. Okay, there's 2 more. That'll get you a little bit, but is it going to be enough?
It really feels bad losing sheep like that. And one of the things that we've actually seen a lot of game developers do is remove parts of the game that feel bad. And I would definitely, you know, if the developers said, hey, Drongo, we're going to remove Mongol Khans, I'd be very excited. But if they said we're also going to remove the Khan attacking sheep at range,
yeah,
I'd definitely that because it feels absolutely terrible to be losing 3 sheep like that just because, well, just because.
Yeah, but on the other side, it feels good. So it's a 50-50 at best.
Yes.
又不用
yes.
睡了。
I'll give you that. I'll give you
该
that.
不会
But it looks like
DeMusliM
we've
又要
got the
翻
age
盘
up
了
coming
吧？
through now.
看好
DeMusliM. We can
Vortex
see
欸
from Vortex's position, he's doing a great job with that Khan, just scouting out absolutely everything. Couple villagers heading out towards that gold mine. He does also have the pasture coming through. Now, you won't be hearing any sound coming through from their perspectives, just because the technology is just not there yet. But a pretty decent Uvu position here as well. He's not going to have to run those villagers or run those sheep.
Okay, so what's the approach here in the second age for the French?
就跟你讲是比
Good
赛。
question. I think the game plan typically for him is just going to be a couple of knights that come out and then try and look for that age 3 transition. Obviously, Vortex is going to be thinking about the same thing. So I think definitely at this point in time, the French are in the driver's seat here. Obviously, we haven't seen any aggression out yet, other than that Khan just being very pesky. But yeah, realistically, I think his composition is probably just going to look something like the Knight Mangonel composition. Always great in this situation. We could potentially see an early Imperial Age as well. Players love to get that early Imperial on this map because of the Sacred Site. We take a look at where the Sacred Site is spawned. Very favourable towards the French as well. So you should be able to get a Red Palace nicely tucked away in on that position. And he'll be feeling really good about himself with that up.
School of Cavalry coming for
皇家学院
no surprise there, and the scout
哎
from
骑
it is still
士
chasing the
学
Khans. So the
校，
Khans
不是皇
can't
家学
just
院，
stop
骑
and
士
sit,
学校
and。He's going to be providing a little bit of pressure, but maybe not the best thing for DeMusliM. Another sheep found there from Vortex as he heads
Vortex 又找
back
到
to
一只
his
了。
own economy. Probably going to drop that off. Still no wheelbarrow in here from DeMusliM.
We could potentially see a professional scouts out of him. So one of the things to note is that with professional scouts, in addition to being able to pick up deer, you can also pick up the carcasses of sheep. And what did we see in the early game? We saw 3 sheep losing their lives to that Khan. So one of the things he could do is look to extend out his food economy by picking up those 3 sheep.
Okay, so we see
没羊了啦。
another scout in the queue, so it probably will be.
Vortex 这一场很
Yeah,
惨
DeMusliM here looking to play it safe. I think this is a smart move from him. Now, we do have that first knight coming out as well. It looks like we've also got a scout coming out as well from Vortex. So Vortex looking just to get a little bit more intel, but going to be able to apply pressure on this gold mine. I can only imagine that the response coming out here from Vortex is going to be an outpost on that gold mine at the very least. At the most, maybe even a barracks himself.
Is that a villager coming across? Do I see a blue dot there? No, I don't see anything.
It could be the scout. I suspect it might be. He's probably just tracking those knights, seeing where they are. We'll take a look at the base now and see that the horsemen going to be coming out here and looking to chase away the Khan.
还在追
Horsemen to counter
这个
that,
斥
and
候
then the
跟
knight
骑手
heading
就是一直
across the
追着
field.
这
He's
克
going to look for exposed resources from Vortex. The knight will arrive at the base and find the
哦
gear
抓到彩
on
金的
the gold and loop around, but there's not many exposed resources here for Vortex, so I don't know how much damage DeMuslim's actually going to be able to do with that. Still, provides a
目
little bit
前
of
蒙
pressure
古的
against
村比较
the
多一
scouting
点点。
information.
Yeah, we now see Vortex moving away with the Khan. You can see the Khan barely taking any damage. He's just so methodical with that Khan. He's always in control. Great job there. Now going to be running back past the scout. This scout just positioned very nicely, monitoring the numbers of knights. That's
没
what
造
it's
成什么
about.
实质的
Really
伤
checking
害。
what your enemy is adding in at this position. And Vortex has done a great job scouting out his enemy. He knows exactly how many military production buildings he's got and what the appropriate response is.
Yeah, a couple spearmen now. I believe those were spearmen?
Yes.
Coming across from our Mongols player here. Man, Lennox play with the Khan the other day made me appreciate that unit so much more than I already did, and it's already like really high up in my mind, but the way he was able to keep that Khan alive at 12 HP and kill so many units and debate so many units was incredible. But this Khan, speaking of it, it goes down, and that's a great pick there from DeMusliM, and he's going to get a lot of confidence from that. Also has scouts chasing the scout from Vortex at the back of his base. He's going to pick up those carcasses, and he's going to move them back under his town center. So a lot of consistent food under there. Actually brings them over towards that mill, and his berries are going to expire. He's going to have lots of carcasses to move to.
Yeah, he's playing very well at this point in time. Honestly, watching DeMusliM play, he's done a great job. He's kept his opponent off gold, so he knows he's not going to be looking for a castle age. He can play him out in the second age. He's already got those professional scouts out. As you mentioned, killing the Khan is such a big morale victory as well. Now looking to do a bit of trading here with
that knight's going to go down.
Yeah,
right?
he's got to be careful with that knight. Doesn't have a lot of health left on that at all.
That's a theoretical knight. It can get one charge.
It could, yes. But now we see the Archer's actually going to be mixing in here for DeMusliM. He's going to be really happy with this composition. Keep in mind behind this, the professional scouts just doing so much work as well, keeping that food economy alive. And beautiful micro coming out right there from DeMusliM as he peel backs the low health scout. Those bad boys heal up.
稍微有空一下。
Knight also very low health there, running away. More spearmen coming in from Vortex, and not only professional scouts working, but the French town center working, and wheelbarrow coming in. So the economy is going to be better for DeMusliM. I guess the question is, what can Vortex do in the next stage? He's got 900 food, he's got 450 gold. DeMusliM is still kind of stuck a little bit in H2, and we saw it last game with the Mongols. Men-at-Arms came out, wiped everything. Will it be a similar story here?
It could definitely be a similar story. So it's going to really depend on DeMusliM and how he looks to react to that. Whether he goes into full Knights, but you can already see that
我觉得 V 会赢啊，可是我这场压的是 DeMusliM 啊。
large massive spears, and he is telegraphing that to his enemy, saying, "Hey, I've got lots of spears. Don't you dare think about making more knights." And now it looks like he's going to be adding in some stables. So in the transition period here, about to drop down that step redoubt, and we can see he's actually got spears out on that gold mine as well. So even if there was a raid, he's 100%.
Chivalry coming in. That means so much for these weak knights. He saved 2 knights, I believe, at 1 hit. And he's going to start healing them up, and then he doesn't really need to keep making knights against this many spearmen. He's going to go for archers, but those knights will be super useful later when Vortex has all of his army forward and he can loop them around and start picking off villagers.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And speaking of picking off villagers, we did just see a villager picked off their spears on the front line. Step it out now, going to be dropped down in the main base of Vortex. He's currently up in this series 2-1. So with this game,
虽然我真的觉得这一场DeMusliM一开始被杀了3只羊，真的是亏到爆。
Not important yet, but it's certainly important later in the game. We've seen Sacred Site victories many times on this map, and there's the blacksmith for DeMusliM, so he's going to get the attack upgrades there, and more still coming across from Vortex. He has cut production though, and I believe he is up to age 3 with the step readout. DeMusliM still trying to bring in these carcasses. Still harassing those, but the carcasses will be in, so more consistent food economy for DeMusliM and more knights coming out.
Yeah, so now we see Vortex adding in a knight as well. I'd love to take a look at Vortex's Ufu, see exactly what production he's got there. It's double stable, so you can expect a lot of knights are going to be flooding out here. I suspect he's probably going to be getting double batches of those out as well. Keep in mind, these guys are the fully upgraded veteran version, castle age version of the knight, so stronger than DeMusliM's knights in the second age.
I want to see outposts on that step.
那个什么草原宫殿还是什么的，
because that's the threat, right? You know about the knights from DeMusliM, and every single time you see a Mongol player get raided, he's getting raided on that step readout. You need at least 2 outposts there.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. It makes a lot of sense, and we'll continue to watch him, see if he looks to do that. Obviously got the scout there as well, going to be able to provide that little bit of extra intel, but now we see more and more lancers coming out. And take a look at the resources for DeMusliM. He's definitely thinking about getting up to that next stage.
Yeah, but he's got to get the gold, and the gold is forward. The gold is at the front of his base, and the army is coming from Vortex, so he knows exactly where to pressure him. Whether he has enough to pressure him is another question. That is a whole lot of spearmen.
Yeah, those spears have now been upgraded. It looks like he's got veteran spearmen as well. You can tell normally that the spears on the end have got a little bit of a stabby on them. Nice little skin, but this is a huge mass starting to push in here.
Vortex 会不会成功啊？
Right onto DeMusliM's gold mine, then he pushes and probably going to be
直接加后面这个矿区吗？不对，是前面的矿区。不是哦，我的这边村民很危险，先走。哇哇哇哇哇！DeMusliM真的要输了，我还压他。哦，好，吓死我，还行，还挺得住，不要500块也跳水。
From DeMusliM, so it's going to delay him from the next age. He's also running out of wood, so he'll need to move for another wood line, maybe at the back, maybe at the side.
我心里是很希望 Vortex 赢，可是这场压的是DeMusliM。
for VortiX, but right now he seems content to just kind of build up his military at the front.
蛮治标。
It was a really good hold right there from DeMusliM. That was pivotal. If he lost that gold mine, he lost the game.
Yep.
No two ways about it. But he manages to hold, manages to continue getting his upgrades through.
还没，底穆斯林还可以，这一场可以拿得下来。
Potentially going to happen here. He's outnumbered by a huge amount, but does he get that surround? It
啊
looks like， the
直接撞过去。
to each other. It's that classic meme, Dave. You know the ones where they're driving past each other in the car, man looking at the girl.
Yeah.
底穆斯林在干嘛？不是，你的马直接冲出去，家里没有人护，有点危险。
Oh my god, you might be right. He's heading towards the base and a bit of long distance chopping coming in
这边。 旁边完全没东西，要被屠村了。啊，果然被屠村。哦，这边也跑过来杀村民。哎，杀不到，杀不到。
Like I said, he's going way out for the wood, and he's going to be very exposed to the cavalry from VortiX. But villagers
有杀到村吗？我怎么觉得蒙古没什么四村啊？
I think he really wanted to force those spearmen back in defense because now limited numbers of military in DeMuslim's base, and I believe DeMuslim is up to age 3.
Yeah, this is such a smart move because keep in mind, if we take a look at the blacksmith, or is there even a blacksmith up for VortiX? There should be. Has he got improved siege engineering? He doesn't just yet, but it looks like he might be saving up for it.
VortiX 的心跳很快。
Obviously, that comes out. Mangonels are going to be just a minute away.
我是想睡觉，不是想下班。我后来想一想，刚刚那个都市天际线，那个路真的有点问题，好像用太多6线道的路了，要多用一点4线道的路。然后政策的话就是改，不要让它进到市区里。 那个高速公路下来的地方，可能路要重拉一下。
I'd love to take a look from DeMuslim's perspective right now as we see a second.
哦，他竟然下2TC。
I like that.
I'd love to ride along with DeMuslim and just see exactly
蒙古下 2TC 啊。
because typically in this situation it's going to be very pivotal as to how he responds to this and whether he scouts out.
像个小蜜蜂，什么东西？怎么连小蜜蜂都出来了？哦。
But I guess he wasn't. He was just full on production. He needed it for defense.
I think you might be right. Now, the question is going to be as to whether he can actually spot out that second town center, because that is a victory condition for VortiX. He can outboom. He does spot the second town center. He sees it. He knows that his time is now. If there was ever a time, it is now. I suspect he could even look to stay in age 2 and try and fight that. But keep in mind, he's obviously going to be going up against those armored enemy units. Those knights going to be doing so much work. But now, picking up a couple of villages here.
哇，这样子。 让法国的经济优势没什么嘞，但蒙古经济大优，上10代又有双 TC， 底穆斯林真的要跪。
Slowly building up the res to finally go age 3, but the Lancers are all over his town center, and there's more on the left side, and he's just defending with age 2 units here. He can't afford to go up and keep creating.
Yeah, and he's throwing away units left, right, and center. Unfortunately, we now see a couple of good trades coming out.
两边互杀。
VortiX just so far ahead with regard to these smaller little.
法国的村民一直在跑来跑去。
We see the villager swing start to happen. VortiX.
再这样搞下去，法国的村民都不用主事。
Look to continue building up that lead. VortiX looking very good, and no walls coming out from DeMusliM despite.
没有拉墙，真的不是很好打。
I mean,
但是现在拉好像也太晚。
You know, we thought they were bad, but as the tournament goes on, maybe their players are kind of practicing with them a little bit more and getting better and better. It's a good fight for DeMuslim, and he's going to follow.
以兵的总数上来讲，法国是优势的，可是他现在没有10代啊，没有10代，很多科技都没办法升，然后家里又没有动物，他又没有种田。 蒙古它那个路动物会一直跑出来的。
being chopped, so could potentially look at that second town center. But yeah, at this point in time, he's going to be outboomed by his enemy very handedly.
Yeah, and he just got outmaneuvered too. He's coming across with a slow composition. He wants to keep his archers with his knights, and it looks like VortiX took his cavalry.
这边应该要打凶一点了吧？
That left side
法国再不打凶一点，要输了。哦，又被闹村民，我的天！法国的村要崩了。完了。GG 我的天
VortiX played it incredibly well that game. Very methodical, slow, steady, and calm. I mean, it just has to be the highlight of the game. Calm was doing so much work, just chasing around units constantly. So very well played over to VortiX.
那德穆斯你觉得正面？其实我觉得刚刚这个正面打，这也是一个可以参考的，就是如果正面对 A。好，这个ID 爽换了这个订阅，我马上等一下送给你哦。这个正面的对，就算你守下来，其实对方可能不会跳，对。但是对方如果是直接进你家，把你家经济断光了，其实他前面打赢也没有意义了。对，而且前面老实讲他也知道不太可能打赢，所以3-1，我们恭喜 VortiX 3-1，还没结束哈，跟大家讲一下，暂时领先，好不好？哦，你们都猜 VortiX 哦，你们就不怕这个崩盘啊？好，好多。其实如果你发现，你会留意到欧美很多光头，我不知道为什么。这个我要来送订阅，等我。
我们下一把压谁？
来赠送订阅啦！
如果要睡觉的话，就压 VortiX。
啊哈，赠送给艾迪爽。艾迪爽打个字，我要搜你的英文名字。哎，不知道搜不搜得到？
看你要不要睡觉？当然要睡
啊！没办法，一定要
这么多压在点。
艾迪爽好像有哦，啊有 F220有了，找到了。
给他个
哎，无法将此频道的免费订阅送给此使用者啊！因为你现在有订阅啦，哇怎么办？哇，我正要送给你的时候，你送了2个给我，但我现在送不了给你，我怎么办？你搞得我很尴尬，哇，怎么办？
要睡觉就压低。
不是，对我想说你要买100，结果不是我真的我要证明给你看，我没有那个，我真的想要送给你看哦，你看哦这个页面我没有骗你，你看，哎，没有跳出来，哎，啊，可能是这个。可能是那个叫什么？那个叫什么？为什么会没跳出来？为什么我自己页面放到这边还没跳出来？哦，没有，因为没抓到，抱歉。啊，再给我一次机会。啊，我要证明给你看，我没有，我真的是无辜的。好，有找到了。我要给你，没办法。啊，好想给你哦，这边。那等你这个一个欠着好不好？我记得，如果之后哪一天你这个订阅结束，你跟我说，我补给你，好吧？我会把它记录下来的，我这个。好，真的啦，我没有骗你，我这个童叟无欺啊，童叟无欺。哇，啊，没关系，我剩6天是好，没问题，艾迪爽，那你等等我。
我剩6天。
那下礼拜来的时候，记得要提醒我，记得要跟我讲一下，我基本上应该会记得啦，我应该不会忘记，没有那么过分。
那边有人喊视频。
好啦，真的啦，真的没那么过分，我一定会记得的。好，感谢地爽，谢谢。哇，结果你这个白给2个，记得要跟他感谢啊，这个 QW 1234567 QW DSS 以及这个 SHHO22啊，大家感谢一下。好。
我猜这个组合哦，下一场法国打罗斯的几率蛮高的。法国打罗斯，或者是罗斯内战。
好了，这个 哎，选手怎么不见了？哦，打完4场休息一下啊，大家也喘口气。第5回合利帕尼两边能用的文明在这边。哦，我感觉阿拔斯在利帕尼可能是一个选项。那 VortiX 可能要想一下用什么打阿拔斯。对，这个是打波7，这个打波7，两边在真人对打。哎，两边在真人对打，我觉得DeMusliM有机会哦。DeMusliM平常开直播没事就在那边举着这哑铃在那边不知道想吓唬谁哦。哎。两边接下来的文明都是这样，因为总共有7场，所以每个文明都要用。播报可能也确实有可能，他旁边放一个梅子下面举，因为这是一个波7，所以基本上大家可以想象的是，河流图你一定留螺丝，跑不掉，你大概也只能留螺丝。那阿拔斯在这张地图用掉，我觉得最合理。那你还有什么图？蒙古高原跟这张地图嘛，还有一张什么？高视野区。
啊，所以变成，
所以你接下来是英格兰、
法国打英国
跟法兰西，你会用在高视野区跟这个利帕尼。然后蒙古高原你会用螺丝，基本上应该是这样子。那另外有一个可能性是蒙古高原你用英格兰打快，这也是一个选项。哎，
我觉得偏难。蒙古高原
等英格兰，想看英格兰是不是？是喜爱英格兰的朋友，那你可以稍微等一下。等一下看一下。哦，忠实英格兰玩家。
Check them out. N4C 2? No, it would be N5C, bro. There was 3 NACs before this.
But then you get N10C, N11C. It doesn't. It's gonna start sounding like chemical compounds at some point.
Yeah, and then Nilly's too old to host gaming event. No, actually, Nilly's never gonna be too old.
那可以好好期待一下啊，这个。等一下，英格兰，我是觉得下一回合英格兰出现的几率。
这是帝国亚冠4-4团体半决赛啊，不是跟我们看的一样吗？我不要看鬼片啊，这广告很没有水准。你看中文，它竟然可以挤到第2名的观看人数，诗歌简单了。简单，你看我排在最后一个，有趣了。
这样是跳爆的，跳爆的。所以在帝王时期其实基本上可以打，但是他有个问题是没有优势兵种。所以，如果他要打进攻，他可能会被一些后期文明打爆。但是现在的英格兰有一个，我前阵看到一个很北蓝的战术，跟大家分享。但我自己没办法用，我觉得那个战术我用出来，我自己他妈会想死。他一步一步的城墙盖出，然后他用现在改版过的这个巨头，就是巨巨，他用那个巨巨升级过的巨巨，我们叫做大巨巨。在这个城墙后面丢爆你，然后他的射程16，他那个射程16在丢，真的是你妹的远，对，你妹的远。而且在升级过后，这个版本它这个我是觉得很明显，它的准确度有提升。对，如果大家有在看一些这个直播的话，你会发现它的准确度跟之前比起来，我觉得提升很多。以前不是在丢它小哦，以前它大概除了丢大型箭塔之外，没什么小用。 对，现在他是真的丢得到兵的，现在真的丢到兵。对，所以我看过那种一层一层这样盖过去。
真的是螺丝哎！
他如果是对方 A 过来
的，
的时候，就要唱歌，唱洋葱。如果你与没事没事，这个要一层一层拨开我的这个城墙，感觉是我们强哥会喜欢的战术，没错。这个是英格兰现在我看过有人天梯虐菜用，但比赛我是不知道了。哦，出来了，我靠 ！VortiX， 各位战术大师要为各位带来什么样的
利帕尼这张
surprise motherfucker？
它是纯
直接螺丝拿出来用了，
它是纯路
螺丝打阿拔斯，你敢信？各位，这个
后面这一张
这个对战我们压根没有想到会看到，
有水，
干，好出乎意料啊！
你看我的预测多准，
怎么会这样？
师哥还出乎意料。
怎么会这样？
有可能。
他就这样子用了个螺丝，不是他用这个螺丝，那他蒙古高原要用什么打？他是英格兰跟法兰西，所以他蒙古高原用英格兰。又是不用想太多，他这场螺丝就要赢了。战术大师已经准备好了，各位，你在跟我说什么呢？哎呦，这个。
开始了。好，希望这是最后一场。罗斯对上阿拔斯。罗斯的多斥候开还是在早期很强，非常强。我觉得阿拔斯在前期没有什么太多的优势。
As probably the favorite. I'd give him about 65% chance to win this game. So that's my quick math.
It's such an interesting pick here, the Roos, because the two maps we have left, Highview, we have two maps after this, right? Yep. Highview and Mongolian Heights, generally considered the two best maps for the Roos.
Yeah. So it's kind of wild. Is he just like, you know what? I'm so confident with this pocket strategy that I've got.
要不让你杀动物，要捡那个动物的味道。
Maybe I guess it's impossible to know exactly what he was thinking, but who knows? If we do see him victorious this game, we may get to pick the brain a little bit and find out on the casting couch.
And look at DeMusliM. He's trying to snipe these deer at the last second. I think he got that one, and he got one before too. So he's doing a good job. Obviously, 2 scouts on the field. Sorry, 3 scouts now on the field from VortiX. So he's only delaying 1.
Yeah, so doing a pretty decent job at this point in time. VortiX up to 80 bounty. We'll do a quick assessment of the map and see how it flows.
OK，VortiX 这边赏金赚了不少，145金了。
We'll have a look at VortiX's position now. Keep in mind he's on the south side here. So he doesn't care too much about the map, but he does care about the relics, and he's already spotted out 2 of them, Dave.
Yeah, and he's actually over here finding a nice little patch of deer near his base. Also, the bounty's already up to 160, so it's a decent start for him. 2.5 minutes into the game, and we can see what DeMusliM is focusing on. I think he added a second scout of his own.
Yeah, he has added in that second scout. The question is whether he even.
而且这边抓了也蛮多狼的。
It makes a lot of sense to be getting out as many as possible.
金够了，这个手速很快，直接下金门。
Switching over very shortly. Oh, the new transition comes in.
The fade.
That was
looking the classic Star Wars fade, right? Like I'm in a cantina right now.
DeMusliM这边继续的干扰对方。
Gonna be able to pick off that scout as well. So denying quite a fair bit of the bounty coming through. So DeMusliM definitely doing well. He's going to be aging up now, so we can see that he's going up with the economic wing. You can only assume it'd be absolutely wild. Imagine if we saw like a trade wing come
I have
through.
some show
他想要开
You can't go economic wing.
双 TC
I
吗
know, I just say I have ideas, and I've kept Nilly apprised of the situation. So in a warm up for the finals, we might see something a little bit exciting. I don't know yet.
I like the sound of that.
260赏金哦，过第一阶段，250第二阶段。
Vortex definitely got his eyes out. He's got so much bounty already in. 285 coming through for him. This is before the 4-minute mark. He is doing absolutely.
下一阶段500金。
Yeah, and let's check to see what the build
我最后压谁？我最后压 Vortex。
be for Vortex.
Do you think he goes second TC?
Well, we'll know if he goes at the stone pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Looks like it's going to be a second TC here for DeMusliM, though. We can see that he is adding in that stone mining. Mining camp going to be pulling in plenty of stone. Now that Golden Gate is finished, we see professional scouts coming in. So it could just be a stock standard fast castle. Obviously, a lot of the resources going to be spent towards that. We'll keep an eye out, though, on what his tickets do, whether he looks to sell the food, whether he looks to buy out some stone. But now harassing, classic Rus
这边
move
直
right
接
there,
拉
harassing
斥候过来干扰你踩石
Three
头。
scouts over here harassing them. He sees he's on stone, so no surprise there that DeMusliM is going for that second TC. And is nothing else being added in other than professional scouts here from Vortex. So just standard play.
He's going to add the stable, though. So
Okay.
definitely looking to maybe even just get 1 or 2 knights out. We've seen players do this. Now, you can also do it by adding...
Oh, he strapped one.
Oh, that's so
阿
painful
巴身
right
上
there.
时
You
代
can see the villager just
哦，卡住，
trying to
他直接卡死了。
It's an Abbasid villager as well, so you hear that beautiful voice line. Well, not beautiful,
Vortex 在
painful voice line.
Vortex 可以让我
One
睡觉。
villager, DeMuslim's not going to like losing her, and he's still got to go out to that stone with more, with the non-weak villagers. He's even brought his scouts back to defend, and he's going for that barracks right away to help him gather the stone at the front and get that second TC up as soon as possible. And there's an archery range follow-up to that stable from Vortex. This is going to be H2 pressure here, and he's going to try and deny those external resources that DeMusliM needs to put the second TC on.
Yeah, interestingly, we see him dropping down gold, so it could be that he's looking for an H2 play here. This is quite smart. We've seen this coming out from a number of Rus players. I remember earlier in the tournament, we did actually see a Rus game where they went for 2 TCs and still managed to make a lot of units. So we see that first line moving across the field. Probably going to be horsemen coming out. These first ones just going to be looking to get those villager kills.
We've seen every Civ against Abbasid try and get early damage, because otherwise you just die. Even with the Mongols trying to go for trade, you just die, right? Now I wonder if the Rus can get it done here, because there seems to be like pressure, but it's not early enough to deny the stone from DeMusliM already, and he's already got a barracks out.
Yeah, it's a great point. The fact that he's got the barracks out. When I saw that barracks, I said, oh, you can't be responding a barracks to the scouts. But obviously, he was aware that there'd be a stable coming up back at home, and manages to get a spearman in time. Almost going down there. Got to be so careful with that villager. He's actually going to send it back out. Typically, one of the things that players do, especially in Age of Empires 2, if you've got one of those low health villagers, keep it close to the town center. Makes it a lot safer. We see them typically building farms, but already moving out with these units.
I like the mobility there from the Knights, from the Rus player. He's going to be able to snipe villagers at the back, and that second town center is going to be on that woodline. So he keeps coming back to the berries. This could be a recurring issue for DeMusliM. Another weak villager back there. He needs food. Even though villagers are half price, still needs food to produce military and keep up the 2TC production.
Yeah, he's doing a great job here. Going to be looping around, finds that low health villager, and does manage to take out first bill going down, second bill coming down as well. That's the consequence of leaving those low health villagers out there for villager difference. And that's just it. He picks up those huge villager kills when he could. It's just so simple. It's just so simple. It's frustrating to watch.
DeMusliM did gather enough gold initially, so he did get wheelbarrow. So his economy is a little bit more efficient, and I believe he's in the Golden Age Tier 1 as well. So with the Abbasid, your eco is going to be looking good. I just keep coming back to the question of food. He does have a few sheep under his town center, but if that berry patch at the back keeps getting harassed by these knights and he has no response to it,
阿巴斯快没救了，
Yeah,
他没有办法处理这一波法国的前沿。
in this game. Keep in mind, this is the 5th game in the series. We are sitting on match point, so if VortiX wins this game, he will be going through to the semifinals. So very, very strong.
哇，他这边 VortiX 赢下来就可以进到半决赛了。
My
4强。
suspicion is that there's probably going to be a battering ram or two.
Is it a blacksmith or oh yeah, blacksmith and another barracks. Or I guess is that the first barracks? I thought he had one before, but I guess that is the first barracks
他
there.
应该不需要
Yeah,
兵
so
营
first
吧
barracks here？ going
为
for
什么要
that
下兵
classic
营？
1-1-1 build order. He's going to be now looking to harass this wood line, getting off a few kills here as well. Villager going down. So how many villagers have we already seen go down this game? 3?
I think that's 4.
Yeah.
Honestly, there was the one on the berries. There was, or no, one on the stone. There's 2 on the berries, and then that one on the wood line.
Yeah, a huge amount of villagers already starting to go down, and now scouts getting picked up in the middle of the map as well.
2次刺哦，
Vortex,
太
honestly.
削了。
Like against Abbasid, he's in a pretty good position. 32 vills, it's just about to even out. And he's got all the military incentive here. It's just whether DeMusliM can survive long enough for his eco to really start kicking in.
Yeah, you can see he is slowly but steadily catching up with that villager count.
他一直没有去把肉搬回来，
Now
是不是太
going
忙
to be going up against potential rams. We see that siege engineering coming through. Another
？VortiX 好
villager
狠
goes
啊
down，on
又
the
杀
gold
村
line.
啊
And back to the berries again.
！Back to
He's
the
just doing so much
berries
work. It's
again。
the consequence of having those knights going up against those knights in the second age. They're so damn strong, so hard to deal with.
Yeah, and all the spearmen need to be back here to deal with the knights, which means they can't deal with the knights at the front. They couldn't even deal with those because there's a big ball of archers behind them. There's the battering ram, like you were saying. Where do you
VortiX
target
好
on this
狠啊
map first?
Definitely going to be this second
直接要
town
送
center.
第一
Yeah,
下
the
课
second town center is going to be going down very quickly. So
第一要回家了。
especially coming into this matchup, you'd know that the Rus is kind of it's a little bit. You got to be really careful going up against the Rus because you never know what they're going to do. They can do 2 town centers in H2. They can go for the fast battering ram like we've seen here, and because of that, you kind of want to keep the second town center behind your first town center. But it's going to give VortiX such an easy target here, such an easy victory. And I suspect he's probably going to be looking to trade out villagers for this battering ram. So he doesn't mind if it dies. He doesn't mind if that town center stays alive. The big thing for him is killing those villagers, though. And we see those archers now moving up to protect those villagers. And Phalanx has come out from DeMusliM, so he's going to be looking
also
to go
adding
to
camel
spears.
archers here.
I think it's a good move.
Especially with so many knights on the field.
Yeah.
来出第二台，
And, now we see
2
the
台
second
冲车。
battering ram coming down. Now keep in mind, every battering, typically in this situation, what you want to do, research textiles, which is exactly what DeMusliM is doing. After that is researched, then you're going to be looking for an engage. So you want to be putting your 10 villagers in that town center, pop them out right on top of that battering ram, and that's when you want to be looking to do that damage and pushing in at the same time. So we'll see how he looks to do it, but this second town center, highly likely it goes down now with 2 battering rams here.
I'd like to see a few more archers
要
forward
拉村民来修。
from Vortex.
他村民要
It
丢火
seems
把
like。the spearman number is just getting so high there for DeMusliM. The villagers now pop out. They're starting to work on the rams here. The rams have to back away, but one of them goes down. The second one is at risk too. He's sniping down spearman. The camel archer is behind, but all DeMusliM wants to do is save that TC location and keep his eco rolling.
He did it. I
第
mean,
一
it
这样根
looked
本没
very
办法
good.
工作
Now,，
迪
he
姆
did
斯
go,
林，你的村没办法工
very low on
作
wood。there. He went to -1 wood, but he's picked up a whole bunch of it since he's done that. You can see he's floating up about 100 wood at the moment. We see a 3rd battering ram coming in now as well. Looks like VortiX
超
very
多
intent
村
on
在
sticking
采
to
木
this
头。
play. Still, we only see 1 town center behind this, I suspect. Keep in mind, obviously, going up against as the Rus, you can very easily get those second town centers out just because they can trade it. But yeah, looks like it's just going to be 1 town center play. So DeMusliM still looking strong. If he holds this, he can definitely win this game.
Vortex has found the perfect place to sit with his
哇
archers
这个
there
TC 会
behind the
掉
wood line. So if
哦，骆驼很
DeMusliM
多。
comes out with the villagers, he's going to get sniped down by that. But now the spearmen are coming in, and this is the production we were talking about with the Abbasid. Once they build up that eco enough, and the spearmen are just diving in against the
波反
archers.
打
Villagers
第一
taking
有
out
机
that
会吗？
ram behind. We've got the camel archers shooting as well, but now DeMusliM needs to go back. He's killed another ram, though.
Yeah, he's looking really good in this position. We can see he's starting to build up a decent villager lead, 7 villagers. Now, one of the things I mentioned earlier is that he needs to be trading out these rams for
迪姆斯林
villagers.
现在
That's
村
the
民领
whole
先
trick
了，
to this. It's okay to lose the rams. It's okay
怎么
for
好
his
像
town center to
又
survive.
反打了？
He's killed like 1 maybe in this whole exchange.
The micro has been very on point from DeMusliM. His timings have been immaculate, and now we begin to see him moving.
迪姆斯林微超好像有点扯哦。
Notices that the berry's going to be going down.
那我只要给他守住赛末
Without
点。
those villagers near the town center, it's going to potentially open
Honestly,
them up.
if you're in Vortex's point or position, you've only seen spearmen and a few camel archers from your opponent. You're trying to bait the villagers out. It feels like you can do all of this with the archers. Send the knights around to the other side because you know DeMusliM needs to have another wood line, and he's running way out there to the right side.
Yeah, that's a great point. But now we see those spears coming in, and keep in mind those spears do have that phalanx. We see it looks like they went for a bit of a bug there with the charge on the knights. So got to be careful there. But villagers going to be able to connect with the battering ram. First one goes down. Second battering ram getting absolutely demolished. All those Molotovs getting thrown into that battering ram.
Villagers finally dying. Villagers finally dying here.
And now not a lot of spears either. Spears getting completely cleaned up, but at the same time, DeMusliM going to be very happy with these trades. It sounds like a second, a third villager does go down. So he trades out a couple. You can see the villager count now starting to dwindle. There's a difference of 4 between these two players, but keep in mind VortiX doesn't look like he's going age 3. Doesn't look like he's added a second town center right now. And we did see a little bit of a scratch on the face there.
Yeah.
Knows it might not be a good position he's in.
The problem I had there is that the knights were waiting for a perfect engagement like that, but they
VortiX 一直退不下来，他有没有想说要分兵去打骚扰
？Just using them for positioning, and we saw in those minutes, DeMusliM stretched out his eco to that wood line at the back, to the berries over at the side. If those knights had shown up there, he has to pull military back to deal with those, and he has to pull villagers away as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of villagers out on that mill as well. As you mentioned, if we saw a couple of knights go out towards that position, it'd probably be a good game called in a second. But now heading out towards that position,
他要派一支骑士去侧边
to try and make his money's
That's
worth.
a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. And double ram again. And now when that knight hits, DeMusliM is going to have to react on this left side, and there might be an opening where he's not paying attention on the right for the knight to do damage. Or he needs to pull additional military, which means he can engage against this massive army from VortiX in the middle. VortiX still creating archers, looks like only archers, spearmen, and a whole army is chasing that one knight, and that's going to give him a fantastic opportunity. I believe the second town center is going to go down here.
It does indeed go down. So finally, VortiX looking to put on a bit of hurt now. Obviously, DeMusliM up by about 9 villagers at this point, so he's managed to get a little bit of value out of it. But at the same time, you'd have to be worried about no second town center coming through from VortiX at this point in time.
Ran the houses down. Perfect.
Yeah, great
Momentum killer.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, he can't make military if he's housed. But yeah, huge difference in military size at this point. DeMusliM down about 18 units. And a lot of these ones are archers as well, so very difficult to deal with. No real way to do it or deal with it in the second age when you've got this screen of knights as well to be running. And now once again we see a knight in a bit of a tough spot.
But not for me. As the villagers surround him, and how many villagers is that attacking that knight? Oh my goodness, we got so many there. We got 15, but on the other side in the main part of his base, completely ignoring that starting town center, and is just going to loop around to that wood line.
再拆下一个 TC 啊，只敢拆房子。
One night earlier. DeMusliM now running away from this area.
DeMusliM 这边到处逃跑。
Yeah, I think it might have been chasing away that knight, but now we see it coming from underneath. Keep in mind, he's only got 25 military units, but it looks like he's got absolutely none out on the field at the moment. Campbell's going to be coming in expensive units. Very, very careful to trade those ones. And now villagers getting pulled. You can see that barracks probably going to be going down
here. This might be the series here. Honestly, this might be the series. Great play with the roost from VortiX. Let's see if DeMusliM can take out this ram and clear out this army. And even if he does,
yeah, these villagers just continue going down. We can see VortiX actually takes the villager lead. He's up to 52 villagers at the moment. DeMusliM still trying to hold on, but the population difference now is really starting to show. You can see that DeMusliM, oh, he's having a tough time right now. Once again, going to be running those villagers off the wood line. I think this might be the game, Dave.
Yeah, he can't take the wood. He couldn't take the wood forward earlier. He can't take this one now. He's struggling. He's like, do I go to berries? Do I go to wood? What do I need? He needs wood. He's only got 14 in the bank currently, and another ram being built. And VortiX is going to use this to bait army in once again. We've got a knight, I believe, looping around the top, looking for that deer patch or that berry patch that he knew was there. He's going to show up to the berry patch in the north side with that knight, and those villagers are super exposed. And he finds the deer on the other side. I believe we're getting close to the 4-1 for VortiX unless DeMusliM can pull something out of a hat.
Yeah, I suspect once a siege tower comes out, it is going to be good game typed in, because there's nothing more demoralizing than a siege tower in the base when you are just losing your units. But now we see those battering rams taking down the houses, and just look at these villagers just absolutely getting massacred. A huge amount of villagers now going to get picked up as well. He's run them into the army. A little bit of a mistake right now, and DeMusliM falling apart. It's not looking pretty for him, Dave.
asking how to punish the 2TC boom from Abbasid. Players were asking that question, and VortiX has come up with an answer here. Maybe DeMusliM could have done things a little bit differently in the TC placement. Maybe he could have defended a little bit better earlier, but VortiX with incredible military numbers, incredible production, 49 units on the field, 32 for DeMusliM, and you have to favor the composition of VortiX's army.
Keep in mind, behind this, he's got a huge economy, much bigger than DeMusliM's. He's managed to take out so many villages up towards that north position. Now, it's a very easy-to-wall position as well. It's one of the things to note, but obviously just really lacking wood because he was constantly healing up that town center, so it meant he couldn't wall that in.
哇，这样子木头那么多，又可以再造2台冲车。
military production buildings knows.
I think DeMusliM has to take a chance here. I don't think he can sit at home with his military.
You think he's going for a base trade?
Like, what else
他
do
被
you do
撞
in
到
this
快没木
situation?
房
You
子了
can't。defend against that with your military. And generally, if you can't
DeMusliM
defend
快没
against
房
something
子
with
了
your。military, you got to go forward with some of it at least. Maybe some camel archers or something forward.
Maybe you take all of your villages and just go for it. I think that's the play. You cash in everything.
What, the Mr. Landmark snipe?
Mr. Landmark snipe. He's got plenty of villages. Keep in mind, he's got 38 villages
You make
here.
it. You get enough wood to make a ram along the way.
Go for it. Yeah, you're playing the Abbasid dynasty. You can do it. But I think that's definitely a play that he can make, and it looks like Village is now going to be moving out. He might be going for one final defensive position here. He's going to be coming in.
他只能靠着这个 TC 守， 但是 DeMusliM 我觉得守不住。
Are they going out to food on the left side? Where is he going with those villagers? The horsemen trying to engage against the rams. Maybe he feels like horseman spam is his only way out of this. I think he was dropping some more stables, and he's on the hunt now to the left-hand side. 400 wood in the bank. He's pulled all of his villagers off that onto that hunt. We've got 61 villagers for VortiX, 40 villagers for DeMusliM.
VortiX 的村已经61只了。
Like overwhelmingly everywhere. It's crazy how good he is. He's just on top of DeMusliM. Everywhere he goes, we saw that those villagers moving out towards that position, and immediately that knight was there.
DeMusliM 的多线操作，尤其是被骚扰的部分处理的还是不是很好。
It's going to go down to 0 again.
Yeah, you're 100% right. This is so tough for DeMusliM. It's make it or break it at this point. You can see that the villager lead still about 20 difference. He has built a fair amount of military. He's got lots of horsemen coming out. So if there's ever been a time, it's now. But he does have +1 defense on range. So these guys are going to be doing quite well. Looks like he is going to be making a play right now. We see the knights now beginning to screen for the archers on the back line. At the same time, the horsemen going to be looking to try and come through. A couple of spears getting thrown in the mix as well, but not a lot. Horsemen actually looping around, doing a pretty decent job. It looks like the House of Wisdom going to be falling down here, Dave.
House of Wisdom falling down and just send the rams towards the town center. I mean, you got 5 rams there, although DeMusliM with a big army, he's done a good job to build up this military, and maybe he has a chance to wipe this up. Maybe this is his opportunity to get back into the game. The camel archers are there, the archers are there, the spearmen are in front. The rams are being pulled back. The archer mass is still alive for VortiX though, and he's still 20 villagers ahead. No House of Wisdom.
Yeah, this is really tough because now he's going to have to repair up that
这个
House of
TC 在
Wisdom
包就没有
even if he
咯
wants to age up.
这个
And he's
TC
got
在包
plenty
就
of
没有
resources
咯
in the bank, but just not a lot of wood. And now holding against that, he manages to take out a lot of military, but I don't know whether it's been enough.
Rams once again just trying to bait units, and DeMusliM is going to have problems replacing these. He's got no gold right now, limited wood income. He's all in on food.
And once again, we see DeMusliM under potential attack down towards the south, those berry bushes. VortiX was looming with his knights, just coming around the edge and forcing DeMusliM back, but now it looks like a little bit of an engagement towards the town center, and you can see the battering rams working towards that town center. If that town center goes down, it will be good game, and you won't even get a chance to type it because you will be knocked out completely. And you see these archers doing a great job of just sniping.
The patience here from VortiX to even pull those rams away. Like, you feel like you're in such a winning position. You know what you've killed, right?
Yeah.
VortiX 越接近要赢的时候越紧张了。这一次连心脏监测都没了，心跳监测都没
And
了
it's。such a difficult position. We see that VortiX right now 69 villagers, DeMusliM only 46. So very nice from VortiX. Also looks like he might be going up to the next stage as well.
So many vills now. The entire economy pulled to wood here. DeMusliM fully realizing the situation he's in. He's going to lose his archers, and then once the archers are gone, I mean, the villagers are just free pickings here. VortiX is playing incredible, like he's played all set. DeMusliM is somehow still alive. But what's his win
迪
condition
穆斯林
now?
怎么还活着？
His opponent to go AFK for
Yeah, I think either a disconnection is probably going to be his
which
number
we're
one.
we're on a LAN event, so that's
Yeah, that's not going to work. All right. They are sitting opposite each other, so maybe like a cable pull could work for him.
the old-fashioned cable pull.
哎呦
Circa 1990.
，Vortex
Yeah,
上
we've all
三
been
喽。
there.
I see.
You target the blue cable and
迪
you'll
穆
always
斯林
be
有注意到
victorious.
吗
But short of that, I don't see how he's going to pull this one back.
Archers once again. How many of those archers have VortiX lost this game? Not many. He's done a great job keeping them alive and keeping the Knights in front too.
And remember early when the push came in, you made a remark about how he had a great spot next to that wood line as he was pushing on the
72农对
Those
40
archers
农
are the same archers that are here right now.
Yep.
He's kept them alive for so long. He's been immaculate with control. Even though we saw a pretty big horseman mass that was pushing in and looking to take that out, he just ran a perfect screen with the Knights and was able to keep them all alive.
DeMusliM's food. He had 1,000 in the bank. It's all gone into production here. Remember, his House of Wisdom is still not up. So even if he wanted to click up, he can't.
Yep.
He's going to go out and kill another ram. But
Vortex
a second
的科
ram
技
being
一
built
阶全都
currently,
点
and all the time he spends attacking this is free hits from the archers on his units. DeMusliM has 4
进
units
攻、
queued
远
right now.
攻、
Sorry,
近方、远
5.
方全
And
点。
there's men-at-arms coming now from our Rus players. So these men-at-arms are going to be incredibly difficult to kill.
Yeah, but now we see those horsemen moving into the stealth forest. A little bit of difficulty with our visibility here. But looks like he does get repelled, so VortiX looking incredibly strong. Going to be able to stabilize. And as you mentioned, once those men-at-arms come in, it's going to be so hard to stop them. The men-at-arms have actually got the +1 ranged upgrade. +2 now just coming in. These guys are going to be taking absolutely no damage from these archers. This is really bad for DeMusliM. I suspect we might have a good game tapped out any second. He knows he can't stop those men-at-arms.
I'm going to take the fight. If I win, maybe I have a chance. I'm going to lose anyway if I just keep picking away like this. And all the archers are going to go down. Men at
迪穆
arms.
斯林兵快死光了。
Good game, gets
迪穆斯林
all day.
GG
Oh my goodness, what a performance of VortiX. 4-1.
Really well played. A lot of people
VortiX
coming into
太
this
猛
series
了。
expected a 4-3. Even DeMusliM potentially winning, but
1
very dominant.
这个是以下犯上哈。DeMusliM是这一次的预赛的第3名选手，而我们有第6名的 VortiX 选手是4-1击败了 DeMusliM， 进到了这个4强。我们恭喜他！哇，打得好，打得好，这场真的打得好，这场真的是打得好。我们把，我要把这个时间点记录下来，都忘记了。第一回合，
大家晚安，大家可以去看诗歌的台。